Everybody has to see Kazuya's nipples, so that way I can.
It's very important that we see
conversation.
Kazuya's nipples. Juggle Bob, blah,
I've seen them.
I've seen them. I've seen
it.
these nipples. I don't know why the camera lingers here so long before panning back up to the face.
I know exactly why it does.
Oh no, go back down again.
Damn, though.
I mean,
looking at him now, he's got those steroid traps. Kazuya's been doping.
100%.
I mean, legitimately, this is a guy who...
He's devil gene doping.
I was about to say has been dunked into a volcano on more than one occasion.
But, yeah.
Anyone else in this call watch Napoleon Bonaparte's lineal UFC title video this week?
I have not seen that yet.
Okay,
No.
well, it's really good. But in the beginning, he says, okay, so for those of you who don't know what a lineal title is, I'm going to explain this using the only metaphor I know. Tekken.
Oh, God.
And then he explains it using Tekken.
How many references are there to
respect
King?
does he, explain it using Tekken?
Okay, so the lineal title is basically an imaginary title in that, if you got like a heavyweight champ and someone else beats him, that guy's heavyweight champ, right? But there are ways you can lose the actual championship belt that don't involve getting beaten. Like you can quit the promotion and go to like one that actually pays you, for example. So in this example, if Kazuya is the championship of the King of Iron Fist tournament in Tekken 2, and then Jin beats him in Tekken 3, then he is the actual title holder and the lineal title holder. He is the title holder in both regards. If Jin then says, fuck you guys, I'm going over to Street Fighter, which he has done several times, Street Fighter X Tekken, and then whoever beats him in Street Fighter is now the holder of the lineal title, because it doesn't matter what promotion you're in. It's just the fact that you beat the man who was the man.
Be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Yeah, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
But, what was I gonna say? Something about it. God, there's some really weird lineal title shit that goes on, especially in pro wrestling promotions, just because of the propensity for titles to get to change hands for shitty, weird reasons.
Oh yeah,
and people to be like, "Fuck this, I quit." But my single
are those mutually exclusive?
Oh no, but they don't have to be the same either.
Yeah.
But my personal favorite among this for 90s pro wrestling is that there was a period where a WWF belt was defended in WCW without either promotion realizing it.
Amazing. Also, I just turned on my Switch to and was immediately informed that Game Boy had updated. Last time this happened, we got Quest for Camelot Game Boy Color.
You're gonna be disappointed.
I was going to say you got Dr. Mario this time.
Dr. Mario Tennis,
Golf.
Let me at
Golf.
least scroll over them. Fuck's sake. Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis. I actually liked Mario Golf a lot as a kid, so one winner.
I was gonna say that's the RPG one that Camelot did, correct?
Yep, that's the one.
And was that one of the first ones, or was that the N64 game? Was one of the first games where, Daisy came back?
Daisy came back in Golf.
Daisy never left us. We are always stuck with Daisy.
I'm Daisy.
But the both Game Boy Tennis and Game Boy Golf used the N64 transfer pack capabilities.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if it works in this one, but
severely doubtful. But I don't have the expansion pack.
I don't think that's emulated yet, but I also don't think that it's considered too important to those ones.
Yeah.
No, it's just you can bring your character over.
Yeah, the one case where I would say Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo 64 shit is actually important is in Pokemon Stadium, because there's literally Nothing to do in Pokemon Stadium if you don't have Pokemon on a Game Boy.
That
Wrong.
is untrue.
Sometimes you just
There
play
are
the mini
really
games.
weird mini games.
Yeah, weird mini games and like the ability to battle a bunch of default level 50 Pokemon, including the ones that would normally have evolved like 40 levels ago.
I do love that the original Pokemon Stadium had the absolutely ludicrous, like trophy mode, let's call it, wherein you were expected to beat the Elite Four with a team that included literally every Pokemon of the original 150, which included like the unevolved forms like Caterpie and whatever.
I love that in Japan, there was a prior Pokemon Stadium that they never bothered localizing because it only had like 40 Pokemon in it.
That's a
Yeah, it
very
was kind of garbage.
like, why would you even make that?
It was mostly originally designed for like Pokemon tournaments in Japan with like the Pokemon that were competitive.
I was about to say, it was the one time that they tried to just say, we know these are the only characters that are useful, we're just going to stick to them. But somebody wants to win a tournament with a Caterpie, and you know it.
They're not going
Somebody's
to, but they're
gonna.
going to enter.
They want to.
Somebody's gonna, and they're gonna like they won't win. They will not get the like first place, but
But everyone will be cheering for them.
yeah, and like it's one of those things where like, well, you might not like even make it to the finals, but you're gonna make somebody have a bad day.
Every Pokemon is somebody's favorite.
Yeah, I'm always disturbed by the fact that my favorite Pokemon is literally the #1 Pokemon that appears in porn. And that
Lopunny?
has nothing to
Lopunny?
do with how much I
I
like
was going to say Gardevoir.
it. No, I mean, when I say it, you'll understand.
There are
Lucario?
methods I could live without, and that's one of them. I don't care which Pokemon it is either.
You
Was
can
I
mute me
correct?
for a second, I'm going to tell you.
I mean, I'm gonna hear it, it doesn't matter.
But the Pokemon that appears #1 in porn is Hypno.
I mean, that makes so
Ooh.
much sense.
God
Yeah,
fucking damn it.
I was about to say, it
Wow.
makes sense because it's, what they're doing with Hypno. But I like
Same-
Hypno for reasons
like
that are
the next
completely
gen-
unrelated to that.
It's the next generation of those children that had their entire minds warped by seeing a single scene from the Jungle Book.
Yes. God damn that snake. But yes, no, in the original Pokemon, my first Pokemon that really clicked with the game and just completely steamrolled the Elite Four was a Hypno. And I will never forget that, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon, and it... that happens.
You're allowed to pick a new favorite.
Yeah, like
But
you don't
I
have
like
to
my-
stick with that.
Why should I change? They're the ones that suck.
Am I wrong?
Because let's
No,
be real,
kids are
Hypno
wrong.
kinda sucks.
Children that are wrong.
It is the children that are wrong.
It's the 35-year-old children that are wrong.
Yeah.
Shh. Don't tell them.
I can understand that. My big hitter in red and blue and yellow was Alakazam.
Yeah, now Psychic was overpowered in that game. No,
Oh,
no two
fuck
ways
yeah.
about it. And Alakazam was good, but you couldn't evolve him without trading.
If only you had friends.
Hopefully I wasn't playing on an emulator too.
Yeah, there you go.
I love one of my favorite things that they ever did when they did Legends Arceus was make it so that like the way
Link
that you
cable item?
evolved, yeah, the link cable item that implies that there's like some physical property of the link cable that's actually what's evolving them.
I mean, this is my #1 Pokemon conspiracy theory. If you look at Golem and you look at Machamp, they switch faces from their unevolved forms. Like Machoke and what's the one from Geodude, and then the second one,
Graveler.
Graveler. Thank you. Like they switch faces between Machoke and Graveler to become Machamp and Golem. And my thinking was that they always intended that you were supposed to trade 1-for-1 between the two of them, with the implication that something about the link cable merged the two of them, and then they switched traits to become their evolved form. And I think they figured out that would be way too esoteric.
They did that with the later one, right?
I was going to say, they did that with later Pokemon, but that wasn't until, like, Gen 5?
Like if you trade a specific one
Gen
for
4.
another one,
Gen
it steals its shell.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did eventually do that, but in the original Pokemon, I maintained that was the intention, and then they gave up on it because of, it being
would be
too much
insanely difficult to pull off.
I mean,
just an enormous pain in the ass to do on a Game Boy Color.
You joke about not having friends with the Alakazam, but legitimately, when I was first playing Pokemon, and there were a group of us that were like trading and whatever, we didn't have like a Pokedex handy. We didn't know which Pokemon like only evolved through trading or which ones, because like there
was no internet.
Yeah, well, there was. It just wasn't reliable, like now.
I do fundamentally disagree with your conspiracy theory, though.
Why do you disagree?
Because, like, Machamp and Machoke's heads aren't that differently shaped, and Graveler barely has a head to begin with. It's just that when it turns into Golem, it grows a head that vaguely resembles Machamp's in vague shapes.
I mean, this is, like I said,
have, like,
my conspiracy theory. I've literally never heard anyone comment about it, and there have been, like, 10,000 interviews with Pokemon developers. Like, I have no doubt that I
disagree with your conspiracy theory.
Well, you're getting close to the theory that, Gengar is just a dead Clefable, or Clefairy.
Well,
yeah, I've seen that one.
I was about to say, I think that makes perfect sense because they had originally, my understanding, this is actually from interviews, was that Pikachu became the star, but the original intention for Pokemon's mascot was to be Clefable.
Yep.
That was the assumption, anyway.
For the anime.
And Gengar being a dark reflection of that makes perfect sense if that was going to be your, focal character.
I've heard the like one where Ditto is Mew, they fucked up Mew and they got a Ditto.
Yeah, no, I've always enjoyed
trying to
that
make a Mewtwo and made a Ditto.
Yeah. We tried to make a Mew, but we got a Ditto, so whatever.
The thought process from that coming from the fact that one, you can find Dittos in the mansion where they were trying to clone Mewtwo, and two, that it and the original Mew are the only things that can learn Transform.
Yeah, sure, it's fun enough.
As they made more games, that became impossible, but at the time, I could kind of see it.
No, it's fine. Let the kids have their fanon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do have to say, Pokemon Red Blue's Mewtwo origins are kind of... I couldn't see any other Pokemon game or even a lot of video games pulling off the kind of subtlety of here's a building with some lore where some bad shit went down. No, you do not face any kind of boss. No, you do not face, the scientist who did that or anything like that. It's just kind of like something bad happened, and then later on you find, oh, here's where that Pokemon went.
Well, what really gets me is the idea that every Mewtwo you face in all the different games are the exact same Mewtwo. Because they only made the one Mewtwo in the lab.
I mean that
maybe it cloned itself eventually. Who can say?
I mean that's a question of
asexual reproduction.
I mean, technically true, then also, but the majority of the legendaries in the games, they make a big deal about them being singular, and then they introduce weird things later, like, what was it, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, they eventually introduced the scene where Arceus literally gives you an egg of one of them, and it's sort of like, wait, what?
I mean, Arceus is God, it can do whatever it wants.
I mean, it's just kind of like, this is Dialga, it controls all of time in Pokemon. And by the way, here's another one.
And here's the space version. Here's the antimatter one. And here's God itself. It's just a shard of God. Don't worry. It'll eventually disappear and go back.
It's just a piece of God.
I think a lot about the one of that kind of Pokemon that they let you breed, and it produces something that cannot grow into it.
Manaphy and Fiona.
Oh, Manaphy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a weird one, too, just because Fiona just... something about Manaphy and Fiona next to each other. Like, Fiona looks like some sort of, you tried, but this is not ever going to work thing. Like,
This wasn't enough, Fion. You just weren't good enough, Fion.
yeah, it's like, what? No, you're
You
never going
consider
to be
sucking less, Fion. Or what's that you
just
have?
sobbing in a corner.
I liked how in Arceus you collect when you go collect Manphy. There's 3 of the Fions surrounding it.
Yeah, since there's no breeding in that game.
It's just budding at this point.
I do wonder if they're going to... Legends dropped a lot of random Pokemon stuff, like including breeding and like the emphasis on trading and whatever. Now that the first Legends was a success, I genuinely wonder if the next Legends is going to bring back some of the annoying stuff.
I think if they're smart, they won't.
I mean, if they're smart, they won't, but time has proven that, like, they do some weird shit.
I think they're pretty canny about things.
I
think they're pretty canny. I think that, like, the internet has, like, convinced itself that Game Freak has no idea what it's doing, and it's, like, whenever you listen to the kind of person that says that, you listen to their ideas, and it's like, you have the fucking stupidest ideas imaginable.
Oh yeah, that's super common. Anytime I see, like, Pokemon fans, dedicated Pokemon fans, complaining about Pokemon on Twitter, it's 9 times out of 10, it's the dumbest shit anyone has ever seen.
I mean, I will state plainly, I do not believe there has been a single Pokemon generation that wasn't in some way better than the last. Like, I do believe there is improvement continually, and they know what they're doing in that respect. However, I will also state that there are a lot of things that they have carried forward that they even, as we just talked about with Legends, they drop it in the spin-offs, like they acknowledge, well, this is kind of bullshit, so we're not going to do it here. But then in the mainline series, it's like, okay, you got to ride on.
I want you to imagine.
Find an item and trade it.
I want you to imagine for even a moment what would happen if they dropped any significant portion of Pokemon that required them to rejigger the entirety of how, say, stats work, or anything else that would be required to make any significant change to how they work, and not break compatibility with every existing Pokemon.
I mean, I am
did that with
not...
Legends Arceus.
Yeah, that was the game that they could do it with, because that was not a main game.
But I'm not talking, like, the stats stuff like that is something that...
And then again with Let's Go.
They're maintaining it, but, like, they have done a number of weird things over the years that I'm going to say are good, that they've been able to do that, let's say, rejiggering. Like, they with the Virtual Console, made it so you could bring in Pokemon from Pokemon
and they
Red.
did that by having it just generate an entirely new Pokemon.
But they did that.
It was much easier with just generate a new Pokemon with this Pokemon as your starting seed.
But they didn't have to do that at all. Like, there was no reason. Like, the people were not crying out for emulated Pokemon Red to allow you to bring in a Mewtwo. Like,
there were some people that were doing that, but I think the broader point I'm making is more that, like, to get any sort of meaning, like, to be able to drop something that is actually a problem feature, you would have to just destroy or massively change a bunch of legacy Pokemon.
But even, like, when we say problem feature, like, we were literally just talking about how in Legends, they have the link cable item. And there are, I would have to look up a list now, but it seems like there are a unruly number of Pokemon that only evolve via trading at this point. And to their
That's
credit...
not a problem feature, because that is not a difficult feature. That is a feature that exists because the games are still meant to be played by 2 children.
I mean, technically true, but it is also something that if... I mean, I don't know what the number is on trading Pokemon, but there's at least 20 different Pokemon that need to be traded that I think are actively available in the most recent generation. And just, if that's part of your gotta catch 'em all, which, to be clear, the latest Pokemon and its expansion, Jeannie, you might know the number off the top of my head, but I think you had to have, like, something like 85% Pokedex completion to just unlock the final ones you can find.
It was 200 roughly out of 240. I want to say it was the numbers. And that would require you to have to do the starters, which required you to grind up BP to purchase the upgrades for the biomes, or you could just port them over from other games.
Yeah, which a lot of people just ported them over. But just point being is that there was a weird barrier of entry just to get the new Pokemon that are in the expansion. You had to do a lot of Gengar trading.
That girl got both fairy wings and a little tiny clip-on top hat.
And she's a robot.
A lot going on with her, then.
Man, Tekken aesthetically just fucking sucks.
Tekken
I don't know. I kind of like it.
We just fought Lars, and there's this character. They were both introduced in Tekken 6. And I know it's a cliche to be like, oh, what were they smoking? But they basically introduced, like, anime pretty boy and girl robot in one game. And they were the focus of that game, and they stuck around. But they do not fit the Tekken aesthetic before or after at all. Yeah, here's Lars hanging out on a ship with his crazy anime hair. And it is just
the guy with, like, the lion coat?
Yes, he's the guy with the lion coat.
Okay, like when you said Lars, my brain defaulted, as it always does, to Lars Frederiksen of Rancid and Lars Frederiksen and the Bastards. And he doesn't look like that.
No.
He does not look like that.
He could, though.
I think he might.
No, I don't think he could. I think the idea of a Lars Frederiksen that looks like that is just like diametrically opposed to who he is as a person.
Was it just a crossover, or was like the actual designer involved? I think he literally has some like involvement with Naruto. Like there is something going on there. Somebody who knows the crossover lore can tell me.
I do not.
I'm just jumping. I am dumping the best picture I could find in 20 seconds of Lars Frederiksen into general, and I want just somebody who isn't me to try and explain. Just give this guy a picture. Just give Goggle Bob an idea of what you're looking at here.
Lars.
That is a lot of tattoos.
Yep.
Including the big one that says tattoo on it.
Yeah, no, that's very him.
He has a tattoo that says tattoo.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm curious where it started.
Probably on his forehead.
Yeah.
This also, like, as he's gotten older, he's done, like, a lot of sets and videos wearing, like, a plaid short sleeve collared button-down shirt and a sweater vest, which makes him look like the weirdest dad in existence.
Okay, so I need to talk about the...
You haven't met Philly hipsters.
I have not, no. I tend to avoid them.
You could, though.
I don't want to.
I want to talk about the actual Tekken 8 plot and what's happening here, because I understand if you haven't been paying attention. But what is
There's
happening
so much plot.
is Devil Kazuya, who is a dude who has a company that has apparently all the money in the world or something like that, and also
That makes sense.
laser
Satan is very
satellites.
profitable.
That's a limo.
He
Is
has
he on the
declared
G Corporation or the Mishima Zaibatsu, or both at this point?
he is G Corporation, and I believe I think he's or no, I guess he's got Mishima at this point, because Hayachi is theoretically dead. He's as dead
Yeah,
as
we'll
he
see how
ever
long
is.
that lasts.
Yeah, at least he's dead for this game. He does not come back. And so,
Wow.
so Kazuya's got all the money in the world, and he is threatening the entirety of the world with his death lasers,
Obviously.
which he will
I do
unlock.
feel
you
like
have a
when
certain
you
amount of
have
money,
all...
that's just what you do.
He will
I
unleash
do feel like
those.
when you have all the money in the world, you've kind of got no money, because at that point there's no reason to worry about being paid.
Yeah, like what is money even good for
Well,
if
it's good
nobody
for
has
death
any else?
lasers, and he declares a worldwide fighting tournament, and the countries that lose in the fighting tournament will be economically sanctioned and or hit with death lasers.
How do you economically sanction someone when no one has money?
Yeah, like that's just silly.
Well, I assure you, don't worry. it doesn't matter because they make comments about countries losing, but nothing happens.
They don't
Like,
want
so
to.
it was like just an
say
empty
your
threat.
home country was
He
destroyed.
wasn't going to do it after all. He was just like, in retrospect, pinning something like that on a fighting tournament is a little silly.
Even within the fiction of the universe, they don't stick to it. He's just kind of like, yeah, I just wanted people to fight. And legitimately,
So-
like, you just have to have prize money. You don't necessarily even need, like, death laser.
It's really easy to convince people to fight. People will fight for very little reason.
Oh yeah, like look up, just search the word street beefs on YouTube sometime.
Hell yeah, street beefs.
Street beefs is a healing and nourishing thing in our lives.
So this girl on the screen right now, that's the new waifu for the
That's
Tekken.
your new Mishima.
Is she the one where Kane was posting about her?
She's the one
and
with
I
the
said,
mom.
She looks like she threw her Starbucks at it. She looks like you threw a small dog at a Starbucks employee for telling her for asking if almond milk was okay because they were out of oat milk.
I mean, that's her. And they kind of play
wrong.
coy with it, but, like, everybody knew literally from her announcement she is somehow a descendant of Hayachi.
Of course, they all are.
questions on whether or not this is, like, fighting game Zeus situation, or she could be just straight up a clone, or who knows. But
Or hypothetically, Hayachi fucks.
oh no, that's
Right.
why I said the Zeus situation, because most of this cast are Hayachi's children.
Oh, I thought like by Zeus situation you meant somebody got beamed in the forehead and she just popped out.
No, I mean he turned himself into a horse and
Goose
started
and-
fucking.
Well, that's worse. That's so much worse than the idea of him just fucking normally.
Or maybe a swan.
Like
It's
I
not
don't
even
know.
normal
I
fucking.
don't know why that was the example you went with.
I mean, Zeus
I
has
was
turned
gonna
himself
say
into a lot of
Goose.
things.
The goose.
My bad, I was thinking
There was a
of,
goose.
but my first thought was Loki, actually, like, who turned himself
Yeah, you
into a
thought, like,
female
slightly
horse
near.
and then got
Yeah.
knocked up.
Well, you know what? Loki's
That's a
playing
different
again.
kind of king.
Please do not shame Loki.
I'm gonna shame
I
Loki.
never
I'm
said I
Loki
was.
I'm Loki
Please, Loki
shaming.
never turned.
Hey Tom
Loki never
Hiddleston.
turned himself into a
Your
range
character's
farm.
canon is
That's
very
what I'm gonna say.
complicated. But you seem
Never
like a nice enough fellow, so I'm not gonna hold that against you specifically.
Never turned himself into what? Genie?
A rainstorm.
That's true.
Because that was one of the ways Zeus knocked up a girl was becoming a rainstorm. And
Wait,
Hadn't heard about that.
wait. So like she was just like caught in the
How
ring
does-
about an umbrella and got pregnant from that.
How does... Yeah, I'm having trouble with
Wait,
that one.
everyone, I have something for this. Wait. You've never
Uh-oh.
heard about a woman getting wet?
Hey, God,
Bob.
go fuck yourself.
I like you a lot as a person, but I'm coming to your house to unalive you right now. See, that time we didn't get demonetized.
Hey!
Oh, we've been demonetized for many other things.
I think you're the one who demonetizes by talking about horses.
Yeah, like we already got demonetized because Gogglebob immediately started talking about horse fucking for some reason.
Like, all you have to do is not talk about horse fucking, Gogglebob. I'm making no revenue from this round of bullying Gogglebob for fun and profit.
So you'll have to take it out of his hide.
Yeah, no, I am taking it out of his high. In fact, I'm like reducing your bank account right now. Like, I know that this is like a silly like thing to harp on, but like the skin texture she had was so next generation soft and dainty that like it doing damage to this leather beast man. It's just kind of silly, but it's fighting games, so it's fine. Ouchie, wouchie. Never
I mean,
fucking
the
mind.
whole point
I
of
need
her
a
is
drink.
that she is playing like, oh, I'm just an innocent schoolgirl, and she's like trying to manipulate everybody.
She's like 26.
Also, there's like 12 of those in this game. That is, you need more of a gimmick than that.
Yeah.
And she likes bears.
There are like 12 of those in this game.
Not in a weird way.
There are like 12 of those in this game.
No, there are bears.
We need to talk about which way is the weird way.
Oh, you know which way the weird
The
way
horse
is.
way, obviously.
Talk about. I'm gonna
You
make.
said bears, not horses. Please.
I'm gonna make. Okay. I'm gonna make a very simple request. If you talk about any sort of animal fucking at any point in the next 4 weeks, I will request that Beat go and kill you because I don't feel like doing it.
Why is
But
it
I
only
will
within the
also
next
probably
4
just-
weeks?
I will also probably jump off the call in protest.
Well, I just got here.
Okay, for the record,
Congratulations.
according to Wikipedia, Zeus, the king of gods, desired
I'm going to...
Danae,
Fuck am I going?
and came to her in the form of golden rain, which streamed in through the roof of the suburban chamber that she was trapped in and down into her womb. Soon after, the child Perseus was born.
Wait,
I'm not a big fan of the fact that it had to be Golden Rain.
Yeah, I was
Not a
about
fan
to
of that.
say.
Like,
Yeah,
are you are you reading like the Clash of the Titans original myth, Perseus, whatever?
It was brought up.
Okay.
Greek mythology.
I'm going to attend
I
a
will
committee
kill
meeting
you.
tomorrow. I hope it goes well.
How did we get on this
Okay.
topic? Because I don't like it.
Heihachi Mishima has the
Algebra was talking about bears.
impregnation record of a Greek god.
You had the indignity of comparing him to like weird old Greek bastards instead of talking about like something that actually fits, like weird like sportsmans that have like 12 children.
Yeah, like there's loads of that. Hell,
also-
fucking Nick Carter does that.
He's also a ridiculously wealthy businessman, so there's that level too.
See, there you go. Yeah, like of
You
course
could have
he's
just said like
an
Elon Musk or some
ultranatalist.
shit.
But he's also
You
come
didn't
back
have
from
to
the dead
make it like
repeatedly in a divine
weirder than it
manner.
already was.
You couldn't just go with like Nick Cannon?
Or fucking Elon Musk.
No, I meant in terms of procreating.
I mean, we know that Elon Musk
Also,
is
like
deathly
Elon Musk,
afraid
sadly.
of being in a fighting tournament.
Oh yeah.
You talk about billionaires and the number of
I'm too
unacknowledged
fucking
children.
tired for this shit. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a
AJ.
good one.
I was just gonna say he just came in at the weirdest time.
Yeah, no.
As if there's ever not a weird time.
I was
You
about to
guys-
No, there's
say,
never not
it
a
wasn't
weird
just
time.
random Aqua Teen quotes, it had to be Greek god discussion.
And whose fault is that, Gogglebot?
We're talking about
not the-
Heihachi!
No one needs to know this. You don't hear DMX rapping about it.
Yeah. Okay, so like it was not a cutscene, but now it's a cutscene because I think you just almost won.
I mean,
Heyo!
a couple of these story battles, what they do is they basically, you win round one, and your opponent rallies in what is basically a cutscene, and then you do round two.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's like it happens often enough to, like, get a notice.
When are you playing quest mode?
Oh,
I want
is
to
Jin's
see
mom
your
alive
shitty-
again?
Yeah.
I told you
Okay.
go on the road.
Yeah, I don't think I've done a create a character of this, so we can definitely do that.
I want to see your shitty Xbox 360 avatar.
As do I. As do I.
I mean, just
I
ever
want to see the
since
return
Beef
of
Not
Faith Not
Afraid,
Afraid.
like, I'm not
Yeah,
certain
Beef Not Afraid.
I can top that as, like, a anything.
I don't think Tekken's like fucking engine allows for creatures as beautiful and perfect as Beef Not Afraid.
Oh yeah, the quest mode avatars are just Xbox Live avatars.
Very disappointing. Whereas Beef Not Afraid was a creature forsaken by God.
What are you
Possibly
talking about?
Euclidean geometry.
What are you talking about? God loved Beef Not Afraid, and we love her too.
Hey everybody, it's Tekken's Nina Williams.
Oh boy,
Death
Death
by
by
Degrees?
Degrees?
That is a heck of an outfit.
Yeah, no. Like
Ooh.
I believe the vernacular is she's serving.
Was it Tekken 7 or Tekken 8 or no, this is 8. Tekken 7 or Tekken 6 that they just straight up put her in like a wedding dress for literally no reason.
Like, it still has the gravity.
You're poorly.
Is she not like? Is she not like in a committed relationship, or maybe she was getting married to her one true love, fighting.
I don't think fighting showed up for the wedding.
Just before or after she got carbonite frozen for 20 years.
I mean, that was just Tekken 3.
That would be
so
after. Yeah.
I think I found Raider Doc Jones' review of Nina Williams in Death by Degrees.
Oh, Lord.
While one of the times Dogobot was playing that, and like he described in detail the method through which she obtains new outfits, which is that she just finds herself like in some random apartment and is like, well, my evening gown is just totally destroyed. Ah, yes, this lady happens to have a sexy ninja suit just sort of hanging up in her closet.
I mean, that happened on the stream a couple times, including the one part where...
Oh, like, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying normally you put that in a drawer where like people can't find it. But
I mean, literally
Listen,
the part that I quit while we were streaming was where you have to go through a metal detector, which causes her to literally strip down to her underwear. And I was like, all right, figured out what kind of game this is. Moving on.
It took you that long?
That was my quitting point. Like, legitimately, there was some sort of, let's call it, plausible deniability happening.
This was implausible deniability.
Here's an excuse to get the character in their underwear for like 3 areas, and I found out that was only like 30% of the way through the game, and it's just like, nope, we're done.
You'll never be free.
Yeah, this character does have big Karen energy, and they really put in the effort there.
She absolutely has said a racial slur to a Target employee. And then she claims she wasn't racist because the Target employee she was saying that racial slur to was a different race. I'm not going to say which one in either regard.
Oh, and there's Leo.
What's with Denim Cowboy here and his good friend Raiden from Metal Gear Solid Revengeance?
Like
Antagonist, 10. Him too. We're just getting all the hits today.
Titus.
And that guy is just Jin, right? Yeah, Jin is just Jin.
Those jeans are entirely too tight to be kicking and fighting in.
He's got those Chuck Norris accent jeans with the hidden inseam.
Somebody can confirm this, but I do believe Leo is... I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the exact term, but I want to say...
He's Titus from Final Fantasy X?
That too, but I believe Leo is non-binary. I believe that is canon.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. That is cool.
That does not negate the point of jeans being too tight to swing your legs around like that.
Oh, yes,
unless they are...
I'm saying that it's okay to point that out. It is just... do it with non-gendered pronouns.
Of course. Apologies. I would say that they are wearing Chuck Norris action jeans.
There you go.
With hidden inseam.
Unless it's just current women's jeans, which are more spandex than actual jeans.
It's entirely possible he's just wearing denim-colored leggings.
And then you need a gusset in there, because otherwise it'd be too tight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kick around like that without splitting them.
I mean, Leo is like an action archaeologist, so like they've got.
Wait, are you telling me he goes out into the fucking desert and like brushes rocks with a toothbrush all day, dressed like that?
Yes.
No, they're like Indiana Jones, dressed like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a universe with like literal dark gods stalking around. So the Indiana Jones thing like is allowed.
Fair enough.
Like, archaeology does require fighting in this universe.
I know, I get that, but like that doesn't mean that a lot of it isn't just, brushing rocks and hoping it's a piece of pottery.
Venom 3 has a name now.
Oh, shit, what's his name?
Venom,
The Last Dance.
Aww.
That that lines up with the Venom movies are actually romantic comedies so
They
well.
know who they're trying to appeal to. Now here's the boss of Tekken 6 in hologram form.
What?
Ogre?
I'm waiting for
What
Madam
is-
Web to show up on a streaming service so that Beat makes an angry tweet thread about it.
No, I still need to watch fucking Advent Children. I was gonna today, but I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that.
Advent
I think I
Children
still got my
was,
DVD copy somewhere.
No, I mean I was just like down for other reasons. It was a long day.
I'm trying to think of another event in my life where I was so hyped for something and then just immediately, like a bag deflating, actually saw it and was like, I'm never going to speak of this again.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Final Fantasy 16. 17.
I don't think he was that
18.
high. I don't think he was that high for
Yeah,
16.
16 warned us all, like from a
Its
mile
intentions
away.
were clear.
Yeah. We were trying to make the Final Fantasy as a Game of Thrones game. It's like, okay.
Why would you do that?
We
So,
were
I gotta
super,
know,
we were
about-
super influenced by God of War Ragnarok.
So the pink-haired girl is a robot, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Does that mean that her dumb little hat, bonnet, whatever fuck ever thing is actually just a gigantic bolt inside of her head?
I think
No,
it's a battery,
because you do
personally.
frequently see her without the hat. It
Okay,
may be
then.
in some way magnetic, though, that it stays on her head.
Ah, that makes sense.
I choose to
thought it was
believe
just
that it's
hair
like
part.
that it's like a battery.
No, that would make
That
sense.
feels right to me.
I'm like
Well, it
looking
can't
at
be too
Leo
essential
staring
because-
at the Jin's eyes, and like I just know that like this created a whole bunch of ships that was just like Leo going, "I would die for you, Jin," and Jin being like, "Whatever, nerd."
Listen, Jin has very important things like killing his dad to do.
I don't think Jin experiences desires other than the desire to kill his dad.
You're not wrong, because his actual girlfriend does show up later in the story, and he could not care less.
So okay, cool. That doesn't mean he's asexual though. That just means he's an asshole.
No, it means that he's really focused on killing his dad.
A
Yeah.
machine tradition.
Yeah, but like if I was gonna kill my dad, but my wife walked in the door right now, I'd still run over and give her a big old kiss.
It depends on how badly you wanted to kill your dad. Is your
Not
dad
that
the
badly,
literal
obviously.
devil?
Yeah, he's
Last I
pretty
checked,
bad.
my dad is not Satan. No.
Yeah.
He could be.
Kazuya's got, like, literally turns into a devil, so, like, a devil, like, lowercase d, but still, devil.
Lowercase.
Noted Satan.
Noted Satan. Satan, who is the devil. Satan, Prince of Lies.
Soon cowboy.
I appreciate how completely non-linear any of the songs that Fanboy has been humming today. There is no
There's never been rhyme or reason.
I'm
Decided by fist.
admiring it.
Hey, fanboy, did you see that video I linked? The NoFX song?
Oh, I haven't gotten around to watching it.
Would you like to hear it now, since you can sing it and everything else? Why not? I'll just dump
I
it
mean,
in general.
I'm finishing out some stuff and stuff at work as well.
Oh, that's fair.
I will just state, by the way, briefly to talk about the stream, I like that the characters within Tekken 8 do not remember what the other characters within Tekken 8 are doing. Like,
Can you
like,
blame them? Most of them aren't doing much interesting.
you're Jin's sister, right? Like, no, that is not correct, but I see why you got that wrong.
One of my favorite things that they, for some reason, that always shows up whenever, like, if you look at like a listing of new characters, is that whatever current Jack robot we're on gets listed as a new character, even though all the Jacks play the same.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I've always seen that, and I've always been like, no, that's just Jack.
That doesn't count. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, technically you're a different person because your cells regenerate, like, on a cycle of every 7 years. But no, you don't get counted as a different character.
You're
Doesn't-
still just Jack.
Jack of Theseus?
Jack off Theseus? Wait, what?
There are things that I should know better than to say out loud. And on that note, I was having a conversation with someone the other day about Linkin Park, 'cause they have the new song out. And I was trying to remember when I would have seen them on tour. And apparently one of their tours was the Master Bay Tour.
Yeah, they really went for that.
Yeah. And as I was reading the words out loud, I stopped and slowed down because I realized what I was saying.
What you were about to do.
And then, yeah, that's the end of it.
I was gonna say that reminds me of DC Comics, the Demon, Demon Etrigan.
Oh, that guy.
Had,
that guy rules. Love that dude.
Yeah, he lost the the Throne of Hell to a demon named Bator.
I am Bator!
For a moment, I thought you said Fedor, and I was like, wait, the MMA fighter? Yeah, that makes sense. He could beat him. I'll be right back.
Ended up with all the demons of hell, yelling, "Hail, Master Bator!"
As you do.
I mean, that was a Garth Ennis joke, wasn't it?
Probably.
Because I think that originated in, Bator originated in, what the hell, Hitman.
I don't think he originated in Hitman, but he might have been in there.
Okay.
The only Garth I care about is Marangi.
Oh, so Paul Phoenix, introduced as the Ken Masters of the Tekken universe, and then just became the portrait of Dorian Gray for the entire franchise. Every game, his life just gets worse.
Oh, so he's Ken Masters.
Kind of. But he's...
Ken's life only really got worse in 6.
Yeah.
Like in 3, he's a proud dad. He's doing well.
Proud dad and sensei, because he's got like his own little dude.
Ken is the only person, like, between Ken and Ryu, Ken is the only one who would be satisfied enough with his progress to be like, I want to help train other people.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a big problem with Ryu and Sakura, where it's kind of like, hey, could you help me out? Nah, I gotta go fight some green guy in Brazil, but I'll talk to you later.
Ryu is that kind of person who emphasizes the notion that the pursuit of mastery is a selfish pursuit.
Yes.
Man, you were getting your ass beat by Kuma.
I am Kuma.
Oh, you are Kuma.
Oh, okay.
Kuma and Paul have been rivaled for like 3, 4, or 5 games at this point.
No, since the first game.
Was it really in the first one?
Yeah, the first game when Paul's rival character was Kuma the Bear, which in that game it seemed more significant because it was kind of like that was Heihachi's dragon, like that was his second in command. But then it just got to be to the point where it's kind of like, oh, you're fighting a bear.
That bear does have the electric wind god fist, though.
Yes.
Somehow.
But in this game, only from Rage Art, or Rage Drive, or whatever.
But I think literally from Tekken 2 on, the plot is always that Paul made it up to Kuma, beat Kuma, but then was too exhausted from fighting a bear to make any progress.
It wasn't always that he was too exhausted. Like, sometimes he's just like, well, nothing's happening, I guess I'll leave.
Yes. There was at least one, I think it was Tekken 5, where he there wasn't Tekken 4 maybe, but where he won, but then he got wires crossed and just walked away.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I guess I won, and just leaves.
Oh no, I think it was Tekken 3 because that was where Ogre showed up. So he he won Tekken 3, and then there was a Dark God of Vengeance, and he missed the Dark God of Vengeance.
I love Dark God of Vengeance. Those are my favorite guys. Anyway, my wife just got home. She's doing well. She had a good time at Bible study. So that's nice.
Good to hear.
Yeah. She can't hear you. I'm not on speaker. On a headset. Well.
No, that doesn't mean Cassandra doesn't want to say hi.
Right.
I appreciate that, and I will
Yeah.
relay that. I will relay that once the stream is over.
Tell her we were talking about gods
Complete
after a
stranger
fashion.
on the internet says hi.
I make my friends do that all the time. That's extremely normal.
Also, Sequoia seems like the kind of person who would be fine with that.
Yeah, so she absolutely is.
Yeah, I've never seen her meet someone and be like, "Oh, look at this jackass."
Even when it's deserved.
Yes.
She's very polite in that regard. I love that there's... Who's this Bayonetta-looking lady?
Oh, the
I was thinking she's
Bayonetta
more-
looking lady kind of... It's an apt comparison because she sealed the Dark God boss of Tekken 6 in her hand.
I was talking to the one with like the purple highlights, but all right,
Yep.
cool.
I was thinking she looks more like Dark Minette from Street Fighter.
Also good.
And also she's very similar to... For some reason, Soul Calibur also has a character that fights with a crystal ball. Like, it's kind of a thing. I don't know why this keeps happening.
Now, if you're gonna have a fortune teller character, they might as well.
A man synonymous with violence, Brian Fury. I love Brian.
Brian is currently my favorite character in Tekken because every other character just speaks their native language and there's subtitles, even if the native language is Bear. But somehow Brian cannot say anything. He just laughs maniacally as a response to everything.
Like, once you make that your gimmick, you have to live it.
And like the thing is they don't even like he doesn't get subtitles or whatever. Just all he does is laugh maniacally.
I mean, he's not saying anything.
Yeah, but the bear just goes.
The bear is saying something.
Bear is saying something. Brian has moved.
Is very
beyond
specifically not saying anything.
And also,
Yeah.
I am still kind of annoyed that King, who is distinctly Mexican, could be speaking Spanish, but he only speaks in like cat growls.
Well, he's staying in character.
Yeah.
You don't break kayfabe for this
Wait,
bullshit.
yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you.
He's wearing the mask, and he does not cheat.
Like, he is committed in the same way El Santo was.
Yep. That is not like fighter outfits. I don't know what she's doing.
I mean, that's her whole deal.
That's the deal of like
Also,
12
the
people
hair
here.
is just kind of getting away.
Well, granted, neither is she.
Our new character who isn't a jack.
She just came here to have a good time.
This
And so
rising
coffee.
star of MMA.
Yeah, see, what she's wearing is totally rational for fighting.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially the chain.
Listen, you hit someone with the chain, they're gonna get fucked up. So
It helps the momentum.
These guys have the rivalry of coffee versus tea.
Okay, so it's like, do you have the blonde girl like aggressively British? Is that her thing?
I believe she is. She's not British. She's. It comes up on occasion.
She's rich.
Well, she's rich, yes, but she comes from a country that I will remember the name of eventually.
France?
I really hope it's something
gonna
called
assume
like.
Dutch.
Gosh.
I'm just going to assume it's
Adjacent.
Pip Pip Cheerio lands.
Also, just like all
Morocco.
of that sand and all of
Committing
the,
real
Morocco.
unless you had to stay over here.
That's definitely not what I expected from Morocco.
Seriously, Morocco. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think this is a.
So like, is the red lady? What's her name?
I've already forgotten, but she's from Peru.
Okay,
Azucena.
okay, that makes
Also, not
sense.
Morocco, Monaco.
Monaco. Thank you.
Okay, that makes more sense.
he had most of
Yeah.
the letters there.
Look, it
They
sounded
were
the
even
same
mostly
in
in
my
the right
brain.
order.
Most of them.
Well, it's
All right, like, if I was like wearing
lava.
If I was like wearing full tactical armor and had like, you know, like there were 15 guys also just in tactical armor, and some motherfucker was like stomping around in like his Final Fantasy cosplay, I'd be a little bit offended if he was bossing me around. I'd be like, nah.
I mean,
Fuck
legitimately, he does have the Sea Viper thing going on of like his suit is all filled with like ridiculous gadgets and what have you. There is not
So I
an
need to-
original
I need to-
character in all of Tekken.
I need to bring something up because it's incredible. So the Tekken characters, like as a whole, have they
He's playing
like
the
the
mirror.
Okay, Leroy Smith is the shit. Fuck you if you don't like Leroy Smith.
I don't disagree. with it. He's also got a dog.
Tekken characters as a whole, if they're not important enough, they get put on the characters in Tekken Wikipedia page. Instead of showing official art of the characters, they just found like pictures of people cosplaying them and used that for the pictures where they provided them.
I mean, fuck, that sounds awesome.
And that includes that someone included a picture of someone in Mokujin cosplay.
Don't
That
know
doesn't
who that
seem
is.
possible.
I'm just gonna put a picture of the Mokujin cosplay in general, and you're gonna live with it.
All right, I can. My soul is steeled. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, you'll appreciate this. You will enjoy it.
Well, I'm just a known lover of bad things. That is beautiful. That is a wonderful. How could you even suggest this was bad?
I didn't say it was bad. I said that you needed to be prepared for it.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Well,
for those of you who are unaware, Mokujin is a living wooden trading dummy who's made out of like
Thank you.
a solid tree.
Yeah,
I was going to ask for a reference photo, but thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the reference photo is in general.
No, I meant
I really hope.
character.
I really hope if that guy's ever in the news for any reason, that's his file photo.
File photo. Now I'm just imagining the fucking like a combination of that photo, but also the Simpsons file photo joke where it's just Homer with like 30 cigarettes in his mouth. I want to see a picture of that Mokujin cosplay, but with 30 cigarettes in its mouth.
There's this fucking incredible like photo from like an actual newscast from a million years ago that was just like 3 victims of a fire. Nobody died. It was just like an apartment fire, and they had like been temporarily displaced.
Yeah.
And it was a guy in a suit, like, it was like, his LinkedIn profile picture or whatever. Another guy in another suit, also LinkedIn profile picture. And then the last one was just his Facebook picture, which is him with like a grill and a beanie, like making finger guns at the camera.
That owns.
Okay, I just want to say 2 things before we get into this. I'm disappointed that when they introduced Leroy Smith, they didn't do it like Leroy Jenkins.
So am I.
I mean, anybody, somebody's named Leroy at this point.
I mean, I'm fine with that because it really should just, like, you should be making references to shit like The Last Dragon, but...
I mean,
That's my second point, was not referring to him as the Shogun of Harlem.
Yeah, like...
No, that's the Shogun of Harlem was shown up. This is much more Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, no, I would say this guy is like the perfect midpoint between Bruce Leroy and Shaft.
He's great. It's like the biggest problem that Leroy had was that when they first introduced him, they did that thing like when fighting games have DLC characters, they have this terrible problem of they're either ungodly strong or like terrible, and Leroy was ungodly strong.
I remember there was a time where like literally everybody in Tekken 7 was playing as Leroy. Like there was
less than a month after he launched at like Evo Japan that year, 7 of the top 8 were Leroy.
No, that's just a constant fighting game problem. Like Steve Minecraft in Smash is just disgustingly overpowered.
This was to a degree that is rarely seen. Like, it was not just that he was crazy strong, it was that he was also easier to use than basically anyone else in the cast.
That's beautiful.
You're talking about Leroy?
Yeah, you're talking about Leroy! Because we all love Leroy.
You talking about Leroy?
No, Leroy is obviously blaxploitation as hell. But I love him.
Hey,
He's not fully blaxploitation as hell. Like, he's definitely drawing inspiration from blaxploitation, but like the old master archetype wasn't as common in that.
And also they play him straight enough that I feel like it's respectful in this. Like they do not.
Like he is more he is an old master who is black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has
Also, I didn't realize how late it was because of daylight savings time. So I was just in the office, and it was still bright outside.
It's been 2 days. You still haven't changed your clocks.
Cali Scrub has no need for clocks.
I was busy working on work.
Were you though?
Yes.
I don't believe in work.
And I was like,
Passes.
I was like, oh shit, I've got to start taking the train back home.
Yeah, you
Last
said you were
train home.
burritoed up and ready.
You were.
Damn, I was too burritoed up.
Where's quest mode? I'm demanding quest mode.
We'll get
I
the
am
quest
also
mode.
demanding quest mode. I'm demanding Quest 64 mode.
God.
That's why I got very confused because I didn't realize that this game had non-fighting storyline.
Oh yeah,
All
this
fighting
is the
games have a
standard
ridiculous amount of storyline, but it's also like the most ignorable thing ever.
This
I mean, I'm
this
gonna
is
say-
the standard for how modern fighting game story modes work.
Yeah.
And Tekken has had a very prominent story mode, possibly even going back to Tekken 3, depending on how much you consider Tekken lore. Because, I mean, Tekken 3 was the one that very dedicatedly had its ending mode, and then you could watch endings from previous games just to get you hyped for the endings in that game. And then
Tekken was Tekken 3 or 4 the first one that had the shitty beat 'em up mode?
Tekken 3.
3.
Okay, yeah. 'cause I
Tekken
remember-
Tekken Force.
Yeah, I remember playing Tekken Force mode in 4. I didn't, but I didn't have as much access to 3,
I was going to say 3.
which makes me very strange.
Tekken 3's beat 'em up mode was basically it played like a fighting game in a manner of speaking, in that you chose a character. There were 5 levels that had 5 random bosses. It was kind of arcade-esque in that there wasn't really like a full collection of what was going on. Tekken 5 had Tekken Force beat 'em up mode, and that was full on, we want this to be its own video game, and it was the worst thing ever. But
I have to ask a
Tekken
very
4
important, very stupid question. Sorry to interrupt. Are they in the Coliseum, like the actual Coliseum of Rome right now?
I believe so, yes.
Fucked up. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg almost fought there, supposedly.
Like, Almost is doing so much work there. Like, it is
Oh
lifting.
no, there's no fucking
It is
way.
lifting the world like Atlas.
Yeah, no, like there's no fucking chance. It wasn't gonna fucking happen.
Like, even if they had agreed to have a fight, there was no one that was going to agree to let them fight there. But
No, I mean like Elon for some reason started swearing that Italy offered him the Colosseum. The
he can say
does not
whatever he
have a-
wants.
The Colosseum does not have a floor. The Colosseum has not had a floor for centuries. The Colosseum does
Like-
not have seats. And it has not had them for centuries. The Colosseum has a tiny little wooden pavilion where tourists can go and take pictures of the remnants of what was a floor and were seats. I feel like this needs to be stated. There is no way anything's happening in the Coliseum.
Like, I'm
Mario
gonna,
Kart.
It's a Mario Kart, sure.
I'm gonna stop you right there and say that, like, we watch journalistic malpractice of Elon Musk says something and people report on it uncritically every fucking day, and I don't need to hear more. Like, I don't need to bother debunking it. Whatever he's saying is a lie. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's absolutely true. That one pissed me off so bad because it was so obviously fake. That's like saying you're going to do a jumping jacks contest against each other in Atlantis.
Oh, there are so many logistical problems with that.
So many.
But what I was going to say was, I remember playing Tekken Force mode in Tekken 4, and that was like just the worst beat 'em up I'd ever played in my life. I assume that 5 is slightly better, but still terrible.
I mean, 5 had all sorts of crazy crap in it. Like, there was, I'm saying this with extreme air quotes, level design of, like, you were running around these weird, like, maze maps and stuff, and...
Oh, 4 has that too.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, and again, 4 has that kind of nonsense, but 5 had, like, you'd spend a half hour because there was just one guy you hadn't beaten up, and just finding him somewhere in the labyrinth, and then giving him one punch because probably you, like, beat him 97% to death, but you missed it.
Then he stood back up, and then his AI could find you, and...
Yeah, no, it was awful.
Man, Dao Kazuya looks like a big dork.
I love it. I love that he's like wearing like $1 million designer suit and still looks like a giant dweeb.
That is correct to rich guys that we have seen now. Have you
That
seen
is
it?
correct.
Did you see those
They all
pictures of Musk like crashing to random party for like Fallout or whatever the hell?
Yeah, no, he-
There you go.
Apparently, he's in fucking Cyberpunk, the bad video game that everyone hated, and then eventually it became an okay video game after years of patches. But who gives a
I
shit?
heard it became a good video game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now.
I being an iconoclast will never give it anything more than I guess it's okay eventually.
I mean, you were never going to play it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
but-
Yes, that's true. But I am a hater. I'm a world famous hater. But like the thing that like struck me about that is that he's done this shit tons of times because he is exactly the sort of like rich and clueless and supposedly extremely autistic, but like
That
that's
doesn't,
not gonna.
that
That's not
doesn't
gonna.
really jive with what he's doing.
Yeah,
I was about to say, and just in general, like he's not autistic and 12. Like,
Yeah. But no, like he just goes to things and just demands to be a part of it, and people are like, well, if we force him to go away, he'll send a kill squad to our family. So I guess we'll let him record like 3 lines.
He did, for some reason, bring an antique gun.
It was a replica of an antique gun. It wasn't like an actual antique gun.
I do feel like if someone brought a gun, I would be like, no, regardless of the make or model, I would be like, man, fuck off, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Just get your lines out and leave.
He claimed that he was armed but not dangerous, which is the sort of like stupid line that you knew that he like came up with in the bathroom mirror that morning. And was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say that. It's gonna be so fucking
dude,
funny.
remember to let that sink in?
Yeah, no, like that's another one. Like he genuinely believes he's the funniest motherfucker alive, but he's like, not. He's not even normal funny. He's not even like us, dicking around funny.
I don't know about you, but I think we're pretty damn funny.
I think I have a certain charisma and like a certain humor that people appreciate. That's just called having a high self-esteem.
A man walks into a bar.
Wouldn't know what that's
Ouch.
like.
I mean, I don't often think about the Roman Empire, but now that Beat mentioned it, I'm looking up Colosseum photos.
I think
did
the
not
rest of the
realize-
people on this call are supposed to be thinking about the Roman Empire all the time, according to things I've seen on the internet.
Yeah, like that's so
Come on,
fake.
Jamie.
That was the first thing I could
I
think
can
of.
genuinely say I have not thought about the Roman Empire since like 6th grade, and I feel like that's a accurate depiction of guys who are obsessed with the Roman Empire's mental state. Because let's face it, the Roman Empire is cool as fuck when you are 11.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
about it
so is-
distinctly on March 15th, and that's about it.
I was gonna say, so was the Titanic and King Tut and
Yeah, exactly. All that shit is legitimately cool, but you do not obsess over it deep into your 30s.
I will point out the fact that I love the Titanic because well before the movie was released, when I was in approximately 5th or 6th grade, I think I had the first realization of my own mortality when I realized, you know what? Myself and none of my friends talk about the Titanic anymore. When did that happen? Like,
Why would I have cared about it in the first place?
I was like 12 looking back on like, we got over the Titanic. I was really into it there in 3rd grade.
James Cameron thought about the Titanic well into his series, and look what happened with him.
Oh yeah, no, that is
I
true.
wish
he
he
had the
had.
money to back it up.
He did turn that into a Sigma grind set, didn't he?
Yeah, well, then he turned his persona into a movie franchise. So props to him.
Yeah, but it seems like the kind of persona where, like, if another furry saw you, they'd be like, man, try harder.
Be that as it
No.
may, James
Bunch of
Cameron
furries.
is. No,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
You first, Genie. You first.
Okay, I was gonna say, to be fair, a bunch of furries looked at James Cameron's persona and goes, "Yeah, okay, I see where you're going with that."
I still feel like he should have tried a little harder.
Hell yeah.
His persona's pretty boring.
I was
Look at
going to
these
say
weirdos doing a slow
James
walk.
Cameron has a bunch of like undersea deep diving records, and like has like being like the person that provided like evidence of a bunch of other like historic shipwrecks, which is an insane hobby to have. But like, you know, as far as like unfathomably rich dudes doing unfathomably rich dude shit, it's fine compared to the alternatives.
I mean,
I'll
at least
take
he's
it.
doing something productive with it.
Yeah, like, you know, is it saving the world? No, but it's a hell of a lot better than what Elon Musk is doing. So
I was gonna say he's also convincing a bunch of other billionaires that they could do that, and then they go and get imploded.
Yeah, I was about to say,
exactly.
This ended poorly for a couple of rich people.
Were they billionaires though?
At least one of them was.
Yeah.
One of them was
I
just
don't
the
think-
son of a billionaire.
Oh, yeah, I
no,
don't think we ever.
one of them was the teenager, maybe.
One of them was a teenager who just got dragged along because his dad wanted to go.
Yeah.
But he probably would end it the same way, so.
Yeah, you know. Still,
Yeah, I
though,
don't
like,
think-
when you're 19, you still have chances to make other choices, you know? That one's a little sad.
Getting dragged into your dad's suicide mission.
Now, granted, like, you read about the dude who was running that show, that whole shit show, and no, you would have had to have chained him to a radiator in a basement to prevent him from dying at sea. There is no set of circumstances.
No, but he
where
absolutely
wasn't
should have
gonna
gone
die
down
at
with
sea.
that ship.
He did.
No, I'm saying, like, that's the only justifiable fatality in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
He
But
had
like
his little PC PS2 controller.
there was one time where he had to there was the story of when all the reports about just exactly how fucked these things work started coming out. There was a case where they put one of the propeller screws on wrong, so it was backwards. So they had to hold the Xbox controller sideways to sort of orient themselves so they could figure out how to make it go the way they wanted.
I believe there was a Behind the Bastards about
Oh yeah,
Ocean Gate thing.
that's a really, really great podcast. I should listen to it more
Yes.
often. I almost never do though. It's like I'll just like check out in on it like once every 6 months and be like, oh, they did one on John McAfee, and oh, is that Steven Seagal with Sean Baby? Hell yes.
I mean,
Those
just
are probably
finding the
both,
time
like,
to
3
listen
years
to a
old by now.
podcast is hard.
I mean, I have time. I just don't want to.
It's appointment listening.
Yeah. So is the big Crystal Dragon Man Kazuya's like final form?
Yes, as you can actually read on the screen, it says True Devil Kazuya. It's like
That design sucks ass, by the way.
It's terrible design. It's awful.
I mean, this is Kazuya after he absorbed the Death God that was the boss of Tekken 6.
I like how you're saying that as though it makes it a less shitty design.
Yeah.
I like the
There's a
long
belief-
tail. I feel like that really adds something.
It's real floppy and looks
Yeah,
like shit.
it's like distracting
Yeah.
as far as I'm
It's
concerned.
like Kazuya Ridley.
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening there.
Similarly, he is too big and shouldn't be in a fighting game.
And I don't understand why crystals are the motif here, because like it's all, every part of them is like crystal based. Like, are purple crystals known to be scary to people?
I mean, they're mildly mysterious, I guess, maybe?
Damn, girl Heihachi's getting fucked up.
She had Samus level flashbacks to.
Yeah, she. Actually, this guy
To
did kill
Heihachi
him.
being thrown into the volcano.
Kazuya, as far as Heihachi is dead, Kazuya did kill him, so this is appropriate. This really is Samus versus Ridley. Although presumably he didn't eat his dad, but there's really nothing rolling it out.
I mean, it would, like, given how evil they've made Kazuya over the time, it wouldn't be that weird.
Yeah, no, because I could see him, and also particularly if he's trying to absorb power or something like that, I could see it done.
You just see him like just going up to him, just going up to like his dad's like a delicious corpse and going, "Yep, know what we're eating tonight, boys."
Oh yeah, so this guy is just a Bleach character. He's just the archer.
That doesn't mean anything to anyone but you.
He's the archer dude that's always wearing white.
Well.
Come on, somebody had to watch Bleach.
I watched exactly one episode. No, I watched exactly 2 episodes. I watched the first one when it premiered on Adult Swim, and some girl was like there to like collect dead people, and then like she wasn't or something. I don't fucking remember.
That's
and then a friend of mine showed me another one that he said was one of the best fights in the game in the show. And the fight never occurred. It was the prelude to a fight.
That sounds about right for Bleach.
It lasted 22 minutes, and in it, nothing happened. I think the only part where I, like, felt the emotion was the credits, where there was, like, an 8-foot-tall schoolgirl, and I was like, oh, damn, she's huge.
So, like I said, I have seen Bleach, and also that's not even particularly a Bleach problem. That's a shonen anime problem.
Yeah.
This is the best fight that ever happened. It didn't actually happen.
Like, yeah. I fully remember staying up to watch episodes of Dragon Ball Z where Goku was like charging a spirit bomb that he did not actually throw for 4 episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying that like Dragon Ball is not equally guilty of this, but like when you watch exactly one episode, completely divorced from everything else, and like to my
I'm not even saying that Bleach is particularly good. It has tons of problems. I'm just saying like this is like not a unique one.
Oh, absolutely. But like my understanding is that everybody just kind of hates Bleach.
I think that has its moments.
I've seen very few people speak of it highly.
It is definitely the poster child for what's the expression? Filler arc.
Yes.
And I mean, I am not kidding. In Bleach, there are basically 3 main things, which is the first whole thing is just kind of establishing the world, and then like 13 episodes into that, Rukia, the girl Reaper you were talking about.
So she has a name.
She's arrested by her bosses and sentenced to death, and the main characters have to rescue her. And then after they rescue her, the main villain appears and establishes, like, I'm the big bad guy, you're going to have to fight me, and then he runs away. And then I'm not kidding, from that point on, the entire series is all about hunting that guy and beating him, and I'm pretty sure that alone is 250 episodes. And it's not even like it really diverges. It's just focused on that guy.
I mean, he's the main villain for that period, but that's still split into like 3 or 4
look,
arcs.
it's Death by Degrees Star.
See, there you go.
I'm deeply disappointed every time we talk about Death by Degrees, Goggle Bob isn't forced to play for 3 hours. Like, the idea of, like, us living in a world where Death by Degrees can be mentioned and not immediately result in Goggle Bob playing it until like his eyes bleed it hurts me in my soul.
I maintain that Death by Degrees must be our like holy grail of like talking about it constantly but never actually getting to it, like a Bleach arc.
I don't believe that.
But when are we going to get to the Death by Degrees factory?
Exactly.
No one actually wants us to get there.
And I will say, without spoiling anything, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I could not tell you how many times I said we're never going to get to the fireworks factory. I have now beaten that game,
factory,
but just the fireworks factory is always 17 areas away.
I don't know what fireworks factory you could be even talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm just, in general, in thinking about it, like, there are, let's say, some gigantic beats in the Final Fantasy VII story, and just the amount of time that... And this is by my own fault, because, you know, there's so much to do in the earlier areas. But just the amount of time I spent in Junon alone was like, oh, we're never getting to the Golden Saucer. Like...
Who's this cowboy guy?
Which,
that's Tex.
he's
That's
one of the
Tex.
few
We don't know where he's
non-playable
from.
characters. He's an archaeologist and basically Leo's mentor.
Oh, he's gonna be DLC.
I'm guessing because he has a really complicated outfit to just be like there.
It would be very
He
strange.
could just be a creative character.
Like I want to say this story mode only has him as far as like unique characters that are not playable. Because legitimately at this point Tekken 8, the Tekken franchise has a pretty deep bench of even like incidental characters.
There you
So
go.
like even like Michelle Chang doesn't even have to show up, but you know, she's somewhere around here.
He's around. Oh, you'll all be happy to know that I cracked 330,000 Twitter blocks today.
Hey, congratulations.
I should really
Yeah.
start going through the old streams to see if we get frequent counts that I can like update it.
I keep a thread of all the major number milestones, so I guess I'll update that again when I get to 350.
You'll have to preserve the thread before you get banned again.
Oh, Elon is too much of a coward to ban me.
You think he does it
Plus,
automatically?
this time, if he bans me again, I'll just call their tech support and say, hey, I was banned by the woke liberals.
I was about
and
to
they'll
say I was banned
reinstate
for
me
being
right
woke.
away. They'll reinstate me right away. Why were you banned? Oh, the woke mind virus.
I was about to say
Well,
you should
shit.
change your
Let's
username
address
to
that.
Be Too Woke.
I guess I pissed off. God. Nah, he's such a fucking racist. It's not even funny. It's not even a joke. Given the option, I would trap Elon Musk inside of a garbage compactor.
I feel like
What
it
did
wouldn't
the
even be
garbage
hard to do
compactor
that.
ever do to you?
Oh, it would be very easy. It's like, there was like a meme floating around of like, which of these two stupid right-wing provocateurs would you rather have a dinner with? And I was like, okay, well, Jordan Peterson would just be a miserable night for all involved because he would just start crying halfway through because he couldn't convince me that like Elmo ruined Sesame Street, which is a weird fixation of his. But Elon, that guy I could have some fun with. All you have to do is like reference a time he did something just fucking stupid, but pretend you can't remember his name. And watch as his brain rips himself in half between taking credit and denying anything ever happens. Denying all knowledge.
Remember the schmuck?
I do not remember the what?
No, that schmuck.
Remember that schmuck? Yeah, that fucking guy.
The guy whose name you can't remember.
Nah, I can't recall his name, but he sent like a fake submarine to like somewhere at one time. I don't fucking remember. What a fucking asshole, am I right?
Every once in a
And
while,
just
I forget
watch
about
him.
that submarine issue. God,
Some
how did
things
he
must not be able to-
how did he like PR survive that? Like, just the fact
In
that
many
there are
ways,
still
he
people
didn't.
at this point.
How is he PR whatever the
Okay,
word-
so like,
Why are you
that
being the shit out of your high school friend?
Yeah, this
thing
is
that, like,
Jin has
fascinates me
reunited with his
about-
girlfriend and now is having a fight.
the thing that fascinates me about Elon in particular is that he used to have one of the best reputations ever, and he could have just kept it. He did not have to like become the laughingstock he is today, because for years and years he was the guy that was like the secular saint of the I fucking love science crowd.
I mean, the thing was, there was a time, I mean, I never was like super into it, but I remember when like SpaceX was like reviving the space program, and it was just like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
all
that's
that
great.
shit.
We need
All
more
that
of a
shit.
focus on that kind of science. That's great. Good job.
Yeah, no, there was a moment in time where like he was the guy, and like nobody was like fucking with him, and yeah, he was a billionaire and like all that shit. But like everybody was like prepared to just be like, oh well, whatever. We get one good one. And all he had to do was nothing. All he had to do was just let his PR team continue to like put out like press releases about how he had like created a patent for I don't fucking know like a new kind of plug, and then made it public domain or whatever. Right? That's all he had to do. But he couldn't, because it's not enough to be generally well liked. He had to be adored, and you can't be adored by by even those idiots forever. So so he had to go with the only idiots that would adore him forever, which were white supremacists. Because those guys never catch a fucking break. Because if you're a white supremacist, you're an idiot by default.
I mean,
he believes in their shit.
His
yeah,
origins,
he does. He always did believe in that shit. There was never a point where he didn't believe in that shit.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say that, like, this is a guy who I guarantee you from the time he was a child was, like, having racist things just thrown at him as, like, fact. Cause...
Oh, yeah, no. You don't become an apartheid emerald,
that's the
emerald
thing.
owner by not being absolutely just the fucking worst.
And there are some of us who look back and they say, like, and I'm not saying that this is a family member of anyone in particular, but you look back and you're like, you know what, thinking about it, Grandma was pretty racist. Like, that kind of thing happens. And some of us say, you know what, I'm going to just get over what I internalized as a fact from this family member and acknowledge, you know, they might be a good person otherwise, but they had beliefs that I should not carry forward. And there are some people who say, no, I think you're less because my grandma said so. And I guarantee you he had a racist grandma.
Oh, absolutely. And a racist dad. Probably racist mom,
oh,
too.
that's what I was going without saying. Like, there's no way you have an emerald mind and you're just freaking, like, no, everybody's equal.
Yeah. Fuck, I rewatched Uncut Gems the other day. God damn, what a movie. That's not really related to anything. It's just, you know, the opal mine, emerald mine. Yeah.
Were you talking about Spaceman the other day, or was that something
I was, yes. I really like that one, too. As far as I'm concerned, Adam Sandler has a perfect, like, streak going as far as, like, comedic actor doing a movie that's very much not comedic going on.
Here come the Jacks. Incidentally, this is the polar opposite of a conversation I had with my father recently, who believes that Adam Sandler may or may not be Satan.
Unusual take, but okay.
Not really, given his age. My dad is definitely.
I was just thinking that.
Of the belief that, like, Adam Sandler came around and made comedy worse. And it's not like my dad is like a dedicated comedy fan.
You could make that argument pretty easily, but like.
Well, no, it's just like I think it's a generational thing that basically he liked the comedies of the 70s and the 80s for better or worse, and then Adam Sandler came around, and then most comedies were Adam Sandler movies, whether they included Adam Sandler or not, and thus he has held a grudge since the 90s.
All right, like I'm not trying to be mean to your dad, but like a lot of those comedies from the 70s and 80s, that shit does not hold up.
Oh, I 100% agree with you, and I'm just telling you why.
You can't even fucking watch Porky's anywhere anymore.
Remember how we were talking about family members? They have beliefs that
Revenge of the fucking Nerds. Yeah, I said like I joked like in the group chat that like the final even worse stream will be all of us watching Revenge of the Nerds and just getting increasingly uncomfortable.
College.
And as bad as Adam Sandler's movies are, he's not even the worst person from Saturday Night Live of that era. Rob Schneider's sitting right there making copies.
Yeah.
Aren't they like BFF?
I will state though that my dad probably doesn't know who Rob Schneider is. Like he would recognize him in a movie.
He's definitely less popular than Sandler.
Have you seen any of the older Adam Sandler films? He's the
Rob Schneider always has a cameo. Yeah, it's a thing. I don't think anybody should watch The Longest Yard, the Adam Sandler version, for any reason. But
the Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
He was Bigelow, male gigolo.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck,
And a
man.
beloved sequel, Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
There was only one place they could have gone after Deuce Bigelow Male Gigolo.
I do like the idea that, like, the natural evolution of male is European.
It's like a Pokemon. Was there a third one?
He was
No,
already
there was
male.
only ever
Where
two.
can we go from there?
Thinking this-
European.
And his name was already Deuce. They could have just worked that into the sequel thing.
Imagine thinking that you could get like
Not in all
multiple
the
films
market.
out of the notion of Rob Schneider leading man.
I Death by Degrees, Nina Williams.
Oh, Death by Degrees, Gia Williams.
Yeah, the list of things under Wikipedia's list for Happy Madison Productions is nightmarish.
I mean, there's like a movie from that at least once a year, right? Like whether we need it or not.
About every other
It
year.
has been in a very
He
long
turns
time.
them out. I'm trying to think of like Adam Sandler comedies that I actually like. That does not mean they're good. That means I liked them once.
I will say that I've heard a very positive thing with respect to Adam Sandler and his movie situation, where apparently if, there are some people who, like, how he does a lot of the movies with the same actors, and apparently if somebody just, like, needs the funding or something, he will make a movie with his friends and just throw that person in there.
Yeah, no, he's been known to do
Yeah,
that.
that's
Like
kind of
yeah,
the point.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
a
Yeah,
lot
he's
of what I've
good friends.
heard about Adam Sandler
he
as
would be a good
person,
person to be friends with.
Yeah, a lot of what I've heard about him just strikes me as, oh, this is actually just a very nice guy.
Yep, I mean, more or
Like-
less half those movies I think exist just so he and his friends can go on vacation. Like it's like,
That is
Yeah,
actually
Like
why a
movies,
lot
that's
of
what I would
his,
be doing.
an enormous amount of his movies are set like at resorts explicitly because he's like, well, my buddies have never been to Africa before, so let's get them to Africa.
I want to go to Acapulco this year. Let's go.
Yeah, let's move.
So Happy Madison produced 4 films in 2002.
Okay, that's a
Wow.
lot. Like a lot by like even by like any standard.
You had Mr. Deeds, Master of Disguise, 8 Crazy Nights, and The Hot Chick.
oh my god, he was responsible for Master of Disguise.
He was He's not even in that movie.
Yeah, but it was Happy Madison Productions, so, There's another person from SNL around his time.
Yep, Dana Carvey.
Yeah, there you go.
Turtle,
There's
turtle,
there was a man there was a man in turtle makeup when 9/11 happened.
Also, at one point he dresses up like George W. Bush.
That does
What?
happen, yes.
I was
That
gonna
does
say
happen in the movie, yes.
George W. Bush impersonation was like the entire reason he had a job, so of course it was in there.
Obviously.
That film is barely feature length.
Dana Carvey was H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
But George W.
Uh,
Bush does appear in Master of Disguise.
That film is
I
barely
will never
feature
watch
length. That film is barely feature length at 80 minutes long.
And that's for all of us.
That's including the credits. Its actual runtime is probably closer to like 72 minutes.
there
That's
was
just
no
barely
universe
happened.
where
We need
could
more movies like
shoulder
that.
more of that.
We must return to tradition to like short movies.
Roger Ebert, awarding the film a 1 star out of 5, reserved some praise for director Perry Anlin Blake's production design, as well as for Carvey's imitative abilities. Saw the overall movie as being like a party guest who thinks he is funny and is wrong. Ebert also noted that the film is only 65 minutes long, but included 15 minutes of credit cookies in order to qualify as a feature presentation.
15 minutes of credit nonsense. What would it otherwise qualify as? Like a short story?
Like feature length is not something that means that much, although feature length as far as SAG is concerned is 80 minutes. So in order to qualify as feature length for Screen Actors Guild purposes, it needed to be 80 minutes long.
Also, I would like to point out the game has now turned into a beat 'em up for those of you paying attention.
Obviously,
yeah.
why wouldn't you?
Take care
You
to
mean it
avoid
wasn't
encirclement
before?
by the enemy.
No, there's what's known as a fighting game, and now this is what's known as a beat 'em up.
There's a difference.
I'm having
walk up
some
and
weird
everything.
case of deja vu. Like, have I asked this question before?
Yes, obviously.
I mean, technically, I don't think we've had a distinguishing thing on the stream before.
Wait, why is
Yeah,
the
this
Jack
still looks like
posing?
Yeah,
it
like
still
the
looks like
T-pose
it
was
looks
weird.
total ass.
This looks like Dynasty Warriors.
And it's not
It
any
looks
good.
like if Dynasty Warriors didn't control well.
Dynasty Warriors doesn't control well.
Guess what? This looks like it controls way worse. Because, like, the thing that was always the problem with Tekken Force mode was that your moves are really only designed to hit one person, and the second that you're forced to try to hit other people, doesn't fucking work. And this looks like they did not solve for that.
I was going to say one person and in one direction, whereas Dynasty Warriors does acknowledge that you might be surrounded or, like, you know, you have tools to deal with that. You
When
have
are you gonna
tools
play the Dynasty
to deal with somebody who is slightly to your left.
When are you gonna play Dynasty Warriors 1, the one that's actually a fighting game?
Never. What was Dynasty
Oh, no,
Warriors
no.
1 for?
PlayStation.
Was PlayStation 1? Okay.
Yeah, I love how, like, Dynasty Warriors 2 turns it into, like, what Dynasty Warriors is. But in Japan, they had the good sense to not call that just Dynasty Warriors 2. It was like Sangoku Muso or whatever, and then Shin Sangoku Muso. So every Dynasty Warriors game is one number higher than its Japanese counterpart.
Awesome.
That won't get confusing.
Definitely won't. The only Musos I have played remain the Hyrule Warriors game, which are amazing in that they are official after a fashion fan fiction, with all the horror that implies.
I'm surprised one hasn't been announced now for, like, again, because my understanding is the previous two ones, like, printed money.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got
good.
plenty of Nintendo Musos they can make. They're probably saving the next one for Switch 2 or whatever.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
Yeah.
same with Switch 2, and it'll probably be like a Pokemon Muso to make people really lose their minds.
Ooh.
I mean, I would say that
No.
that wouldn't work just because somebody the thing that a Muso needs is a franchise where mostly everybody is human-shaped. Like, you need 10,000
That's
people,
why you
but
just
they
beat
all
up a
have
shit
the
ton
same
of Mr.
basic
Mimes and
proportions.
Hypnos.
Garchomps.
Yeah.
That's-
Glades. Hitmonchan, Lee's, Tops.
Oh yeah, an army of Hitmonchan.
Hitmontofts are a little shorter, though, so they might be a problem.
And also they're tripodal, I think.
Oh, they mostly spin on their heads sometimes, but like they can still walk on their feet.
They got 2 feet.
Are
Because,
they too? Okay.
yeah, they show up in, what is it? The Indigo Disc DLC.
Makes sense, yeah, no, just in my head I'm remembering them with extra limbs.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
they do
at
the
this list.
Capra swaying back and forth kind of
Yeah,
dance
that
moves.
makes sense.
I'm looking at the list of Happy Madison things again. This sucks.
This
They
lady
should
just
make a
referred to
Happy
herself as
Madison
the Java
Muso.
file. Is she aware that, like, there's things in life that aren't coffee?
No, that's her entire thing. That's how Tekken characters work.
Yeah, Tekken characters get one obsession and it's their entire deal. Like, Nina Williams is a hard-boiled assassin. I swear to God, she has not had any further characterization beyond that sentence. Did you know that she's a hard-boiled assassin?
All you've seen
Yes,
here
I
is
should play Death by Degrees, starring Nina Williams.
Yeah. Why aren't you playing Death by Degrees starring Nina Williams right now, Bob? Is it because you're a coward?
Yes. I'll play it
all
when
you've
it
seen
comes out on
here is the
Virtual
entire
Console.
deal is that she knows MMA and that she's a barista who is also the daughter of like a coffee company. That's it. That's all.
Wait, so like, all right, knowing what I know about like daughters of large companies, did like her dad like make her get a job to like build character or some shit?
I want you to go back through the discussion we just had about how much characterization Tekken characters get and ask yourself again if they gave that much detail.
Yeah, her
All
dad
right,
does not have a name.
Fine, I'll
Her
give you
dad.
that one. That one's for fucking free.
Oh, hey, this is a classic Tekken match.
And I love Tekken story mode because it constantly throws at you a character you've never played as before, and is like, you have to win this fight now.
So are
Remember
you
when Marshall?
Law? Or no, that's Forest Law.
I'm Paul.
This is
That's
Marshall.
Marshall.
Forest Law showed up in 3 and then never again.
I think
They just
it
went
was
right
in
back to Marshall.
5 as an available character, but not like the main.
I think he's just like an alternate skin for
Yeah.
Marshall.
That's
I
a
mean,
shame.
like, if you have a dude named Martial Law, you would be insane to like say, "Oh, this guy's name is Forest Law." That's silly.
Well, I mean,
Well, like,
no,
Marshall
this
who
is-
named his son Forest, so we have no one to blame but him.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
like-
enough.
Like, the thing is that, like, Tekken 3 is, like, the one time that a fighting game
God.
did a next generation that didn't, like, rapidly decline the popularity of the series, and they did that by not committing to the notion at all.
I mean, the only character
Okay.
that was allowed to age was Paul. Everybody else was either replaced by like an exact duplicate child, or they were in cryosleep. and then starting with Tekken 4, they just kind of acknowledged it happened, but it didn't impact anything, which led to a character in Tekken 5 being literally 105 years old.
Don't worry about it.
I just had a scary thought.
He's doing all right.
What's the scary
Did
thing?
since martial law is based off of Bruce Lee, then Forrest would be Jason Lee. Did Forrest Law star in The Crow
You're thinking of Brandon Lee.
or Brandon Lee?
And I don't want to think about that. I don't like that.
They do
Yeah, that's why I had a
distinctly
scary
make
thought.
it clear that the Law family are just a family of chefs who happen to be super into kung fu.
Who happen to all be Bruce Lee.
Yes.
I'm waiting for like some video game, some fighting game to make like the connection, and just make Gordon Ramsay a fighter.
Think of what we could have had if Clay Fighter Extreme had come out.
God.
No, wait, Clay Fighter Call of Putty. Extreme was the canceled PS1 game. Call of Putty was the canceled WiiWare game.
What was the one that was like announced well after the Wii where it stopped being a thing? Like-
That didn't have a name.
I was about to say, I think they
This-
just
this-
announced upcoming Clay Fighter project. And called
Yeah,
it
and then
that.
I
canceled.
always think fondly of Magflare's post about it, where he was just like he wanted a game so completely incomprehensible that like people would be playing it, like Evo level players would be would like just say, okay, so how am I supposed to play this thing, and get no fucking answers.
I mean, like the tragedy is that what you would have likely gotten is just something so blisteringly racist that you couldn't imagine that it had come out of anything but the fever dream of someone from 1920.
That
I mean,
is
do you think they can do a
unfortunate.
Clay
Unfortunately,
Fighter
wasn't.
game without it being racist?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were getting progressively more racist over time.
Which is weird,
so-
because normally it goes the other way.
Yeah, and I'm just like fully convinced that given enough time, like you would have just seen like forms of racism that had gone extinct because no one had thought about race in that fashion in 100 years.
They have they have slurs we don't even have words for.
Like they have slurs specifically for Polacks here.
Wow.
Also, whenever I see King in this, I remember like right after the game came out, someone talking about like, yeah, I was playing Tekken 8 with my dad, and he fucking hit me with a King combo that no one's used since before Y2K.
So to go back to Happy Madison for a hot second.
Do we have to?
We don't
No,
have to. We get to.
Yeah, no gods.
So, Big Daddy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the kid, it was
Yeah.
twins who ended up
Dylan and
being
Cole Sprouse.
yes, they were the twins on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Holy shit! Really?
What
I had
other
no
things?
idea.
And now
Yep.
one of them was on Riverdale.
Yep. One of them's Jughead.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. But
One of them
Oh.
uttered the immortal line, "I'm weird, I'm a weirdo."
Wait, one of them's Jughead? That's so fucked
Yes.
up. I had no idea.
So
If you
wait,
haven't
there's
seen
a
Riverdale,
direct.
please watch that. It is an absolute fever dream.
I remember I made a thread about it just to be like, I know what CW writers write. I've watched the Arrowverse shows. I I don't feel like the world is ready for Riverdale.
I think the ideal way to watch Riverdale would be to watch the first season, just watch the first season. And get, like, the characters established, you know, what's going on there. Then, starting with the second season, watch every third episode. And just be like, wait a minute. They were just in high school. Why is Archie fighting a bear in the mountains?
Why wouldn't Archie fight a bear in the
And then 3
mountains?
episodes later, like, Cheryl Blossom is, like, leading a gag.
Of course she is.
When does Veronica become a Terminator?
Yeah,
She's already a Terminator.
and then eventually
She was
it'll get
always
to
a
a point
Terminator.
where, I'm not exaggerating, every week they're in a different dimension.
Is this streaming or is this just on TV now?
Riverdale was
No, it
on
ended.
Netflix. What is it still? Do we know? Can we look it up?
Give me 5 seconds.
I
I'm
mean,
looking
given
at
it
the
was a
list.
CW show, I could see it on Discovery at this point. That seems to be where a lot of it is wound up.
Max, you mean HBO Max?
Whatever.
The Max.
That thing. The horrible burning remains of the Warner Bros. Corporation.
That's
It's so
why I have
weird.
no
Like,
idea how
I
to play
don't
Victor,
want
because
Warner
this guy
Bros.
has
to
a
fail
lot of
because
weapons and,
I
like,
don't
doesn't
want
know
any
that.
film studio to fail because there's so few of them now that Disney ate Fox.
I mean, it's
But at the
just,
same time, like, if anyone deserves to fail, it's Warner Bros.
I mean, it's just amazing to me that frickin' like Warner Brothers, which I can close my eyes and see that logo in my head, are fucking up releasing Looney Tunes movies.
They've been doing that for
Apparently-
ever since we were kids.
But I mean, like, now they're reaching a point where they can't even get them out.
Oh, they could. They just don't want
They
to.
could, they
anymore.
just didn't want to. They
Zaslav seems to have like an actual like agenda against the concept of intended art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't disagree with that. Well, I mean, it seems like somebody who's just been completely brain poisoned by looking at this is what the ratings are for any given reality show, and this versus this is what the ratings are for whatever.
This, our most valuable, like truly 90 Day Fiancé is a similar brand value as The Sopranos. That's how it works.
Yeah. No, actually, come
To
to think of it,
somebody,
you
maybe.
guys, we've talked about the Big Feats and Sean Baby podcast on this.
Big beats.
I was able to listen to the most recent Big Feats, and they actually review how Mountain Monsters came to be. And basically it was on this, like, exclusive streaming service that was 90% upscale Travel Channel nonsense. And then they brought in the Mountain Monsters show, which, for those of you who are unaware, is a show about 6 random hillbillies fighting Bigfoot
finding every single week.
Every single week they find it and somehow kill it off camera.
Yeah,
It's a reality show that
in theory,
involves no
it's-
reality.
It's more accurate to call it an improv show, which is honestly kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reality show by conventions of genre.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, they speak to the camera. They ostensibly are filming this in reality with real locations and people.
So,
But-
like what we do in the shadows?
I mean, except
Without
they're
any
trying to
subject
claim that
awareness
it's serious.
at all.
Like, they're trying to do it vaguely documentary style. And I say
Like
vaguely
zero
because
self-awareness.
absolutely not. but the joke is that apparently it started on this streaming channel that it was the only reality show on there, and apparently it dominated in ratings in every conceivable way. And then
That's so
suddenly
sad.
that streaming service was just all reality shows. Because they assumed that that's what people wanted.
That's what people wanted, and it was way, way cheaper.
Yeah, Mountain Monsters does have to have a budget of, like, golf cart gas money.
Like the Mountain Monsters.
Don't those things run on batteries?
Uh-oh!
Oh no,
Mountain Monsters
they're
is,
cooking the
is
books.
Mountain Monsters is made for the cost of a bunch of people moonshining at various points.
Yeah. Willie's got a habit he needs to support.
Yeah. The thing that like
Wasn't it
shocked
just
me
right
about
over
that
the
was,
dude?
was I
Yeah.
read the TV tropes page and found out that their head guy, the supposed leader, passed away in 2019.
Oh.
Can't believe he was killed by a Bigfoot.
There's only one way he could go out.
Well,
Moonshine explosion.
moonshine explosion. But they kept going, and they made the entire next season. Oh, these are his secret files. We're tracking down his last discoveries.
That is a completely depraved and deranged concept.
That is so disgusting. Just all by itself.
Look, you know what? I'm going to say this, and I will say this on the stream, and this will be recorded, and this will be on my website eventually. If I die, I want you guys to continue even worse streams by saying, like, oh, this was from Goggle Bob's secret stash of video games. And I don't care if you're firing
because you
up
have
an
too many
emulator.
games.
Yeah, you have all the games. I don't know any games you don't have.
Hey, it's her.
I was about to start.
It's Nina Williams in Death by Degrees.
In this case, it's just from Death by Degrees.
I was about to start hurling further abuse at Bob, but I will refrain.
I wouldn't. I won't. I never miss an opportunity to bully Goggle Bob for fun and profits.
But I mean, like, legitimately what you're talking about is I can understand why it's, like, ghoulish, but given everything I've understood about mountain monsters, this seemed to be, like, basically friends having fun on this stupid show. So, like...
I mean, there's a lot of that, yeah, but, like, I'm just saying that, like, my hot take is that, like, after that, it wouldn't be fun for me.
I mean, I want you guys to have fun in my honor.
Why start now?
Wait a minute.
Bullying Goggle Bob's great.
Body, Genie.
Bullying from beyond the grave.
Oh no, you like. There's no beyond here. You are in the grave, and we are still bullying you.
Yeah.
You'll know I'm playing Tekken's Nina Williams up in heaven.
I think if you're putting
That's
that
not
you're not
heaven.
in heaven.
Does that make it heaven, or does that, like, definitionally mean you went somewhere else?
I'm playing the good version of that game that comes from a perfect world.
Oh, okay. Well then. So what?
Let him dream.
Mortal Kombat Shaolin monks?
Good God. Yeah, what are some good? I guess 3D beat 'em ups isn't exactly enough of a deep genre to, like, you know, these are the exemplary ones.
I got high hopes for the next Streets of Rage.
Is that going to be
yeah,
3D?
Streets of Rage. Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, they. Oh, so
When
like
Sega did their-
Streets of Rage 5 is happening, I guess it would be.
Yeah, Sega announced it with when they did
Yeah,
the
that's
whole.
right.
Oh yeah, that was
Crazy.
from that thing.
But who knows?
I just remembered, like, I just was looking at 1-900 Hot Dog because of earlier discussions, and now I just ran into an article that's Sean Baby talking about some of his old work and reposting it. So now all I need to do is find an old draft, copy edit it, reformat it, find a 10-year-old backup drive of notes and graphics, Photoshop those, then reflect on the outrageous words I remember being funny in the 2000s, but look like hate crimes today.
That's a very Sean Baby thing to say, because, like, the world did in fact change in many ways.
I mean, I will say that, like, I mean, what was it? Oh, I was looking at, of all things, the endings for Street Fighter Pocket Fighter, Super Gem Minimax, or whatever the hell that game's called.
Super Gem Fighter Mini-Mix, aka Pocket Fighter, the only name it should ever be known as.
Yes. So, but if you look at the endings for that game, they use the R word just, like, to call Dan.
Oh yeah, it was constant.
And, like, I must not have thought of that poorly at any level back in the day. And it's like, oh.
But yeah, Sean Baby is one of those people that for like a couple years there I lost track of what he was doing. And it was one of those cases where it's like, there are two paths that this man could go down depending upon how willing he is to reflect upon himself. And thankfully he went down the good one.
I
Because
was
the
going to
other
say,
ones,
he chose the good ending.
Yeah, no, he really did. There was, I think, one of his tweets that like struck me as, oh, okay, so he has done some serious contemplation, and it was he was talking about how in college there was like an anti-Nazi rally, and he thought that was the dumbest shit ever because what kind of
Why would you
Nazis
need to
are still?
bother?
Why would you even bother? And then like later, I think in like 2016, he posted something like. Back then, I thought, why would you even bother? There are Nazis aren't around anymore. I deeply regret this decision. I see now I was mistaken.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say that, like, even going back to the Super Friends stuff, I always thought Sean Baby was, I mean, it's affectionate, but it's also that mean kind of affectionate, and honestly, I did expect it to go in the direction of a number of other, let's just say,
This could very
internet
well have
assholes.
just turned into being like, how dare you tell me not to say that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
that's lyrical.
Thankfully, he was one of the rare and beautiful people that responded by saying, "Wait, shit, I should be saying that. Fuck."
Right.
Yeah. It's a good thing. I'll be right back.
I have infinite respect for someone who gets who like no one I never even really saw someone call him out on shit, but who like looks at their old work and is like, shit, I was wrong. Fuck.
Oh no, my personal growth is out to get me.
I mean, this is going back to the ancient days of the internet. But Sean Baby either promoted or was secretly in charge of, I think the site was something like Fat People in Party Hats?
That chicks in party hats.
Yeah, and what was he responsible for that or just promoted it?
He was involved in it in some capacity.
Okay. But, I mean, just
it's
the entire
exactly as
thing
bad as
was
you think.
just, let's laugh at fat people. Like, that was the entire...
Especially fat women. Like, we can't just pretend that it was, like, just fat people. It was specifically fat women.
Yeah, okay, yes. It was specifically fat women.
Like,
yeah.
there was a layer of both fat phobia and misogyny there.
Yeah, excuse me.
The butt.
I mean, that was definitely something that I even saw back then and thought, okay, this is just me. Like...
This is cruelty for its own sake.
Yeah, this
The
is
butt
just...
of all internet jokes since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just generally someone who is capable of looking at prior poor decisions and being like, man, that sucks, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's something that I can understand, like... You're
Just like your
drunk and
alternative
your college friend
in-
shows you, and it's like, haha.
And you don't think very hard about it.
Right.
But your alternative is that you could be like, God, I'm lifting a name that hopefully no one has contemplated in decades. Your alternative is to be one of the Maddoxes of the world.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh God.
Okay.
That dude.
I have not
That dude
heard
just
that name
became
in ages.
the worst version of himself, right? I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he sucked and he became worse.
Here is
Yeah.
a story that
That's
I
right.
always enjoyed telling, was that there was this girl who I had a crush on in high school. And
Lord.
then we reconnected in, like, late college, maybe even graduated. I'm trying to think of the exact time frame. And we started talking online, and then we started dating, and one of our first dates, you know, we're both kind of like, I mean, it was that time when, like, nerd chic was just kind of becoming popular, so it was like, oh, let's go to a bookstore together. And she found at that bookstore Maddox's Alphabet of Manliness. It
Oh,
might have
Jesus.
been new. And
I
she bought
remember
a
my
copy
brother
of it.
bought that
Circa
book
06
because he
that
thought
came
it was a
out.
joke, and it's all just about pissing on the side of the toilet.
But she bought a copy of that book for herself and for me. And the entire time,
That's
I'm
awful.
thinking, oh my god, this is the biggest red flag I've ever seen.
What is happening?
Like, oh no, I've had a crush on this girl for 4 years, and oh no!
The ick crept in.
So I also want to point out that Maddox does have a relatively small Wikipedia page. I appreciate that one of its subheaders is podcast and lawsuit.
Oh man, he survived being internet popular to the point where he got a podcast.
In 2014, Maddox created a weekly podcast titled The Biggest Problem in the Universe, co-hosted by Dax Herrera under the nickname under the pseudonym Dick Masterson. The format of the show rotated between each co-host discussing a problem and soliciting votes from the audience. The podcast had its final episode in 2016. This led to Maddox creating a new podcast network called Madcast Media. The pilot program, The Best Debate in the Universe, features debates where Maddox argues both sides of an issue.
Wow.
I can only imagine, like, a guy like Maddox's idea of arguing both sides being the most just depressing shit.
I'm just making a jack-off motion, but in 2017, Maddox filed a $372 million harassment lawsuit with the New York Supreme Court against Herrera, individuals at Patreon, and Weber Shandwick copywriter Asterios Kokkinos, who made guest appearances on The Biggest Problem in the Universe and The Dick Show. Maddox and his girlfriend, not named in the suit, alleged that the defendants launched a trolling campaign against them, which resulted in death threats, rape threats, racial slurs, and the loss of sponsorship. They cited an album by Kokkinos and a billboard contest by Herrera, which both attempted to mock Maddox, along with targeted ads on Facebook and Reddit. A representative for Shandwick stated their plans to contest the lawsuit's claims, and Herrera rejected the allegations. In 2018, Judge Charles Ramos dismissed the claims against all defendants, arguing that those against Herrera should have been filed in the jurisdiction of California, where they had happened. Of the claims against Asterios Kokkinos, Ramos expressed frustration as to the poor drafting of the complaint and its lack of specific evidence, saying, "This complaint is such a mess that I can't address these issues because I can't specifically point to what's being alleged as against your client or your client." Ramos dismissed the claims against Weber Shandwick with prejudice, stating that they were named in the suit just because someone used their equipment.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So I can't believe he lost a defamation suit where there was a billboard involved.
Incredible.
I feel like that would be a bit of a slam dunk. In any other scenario.
I can only assume he was at least in part attempting to represent himself, because that's the only guess
I was about
can
to say
make
that's
for
the
how
only way you
fucked
wind
that
up
one
with a brief that is that bad.
Incredible. Also, just the notion of like filing it in New York, where none of these events happened, and filing it for $372 million.
Why did he file it in New York?
I don't know.
Probably just like live there.
I think because Patreon was listed, and like I think they might be headquartered in New York.
Could you imagine a universe where that goes differently and Patreon goes under because of a Maddox lawsuit?
I don't want to think about that possibility.
I don't want to think about Maddox getting that much money, so no.
Yeah.
Like just an alternate universe where like all the people who rely on Patreon is like the only way that they like make money.
Obliterated.
It's like, oh, well, no, I'm sorry, this can no longer exist because of a defamation suit involving Maddox. God damn.
You know, that guy that you remember as like being that one person that the worst person you knew thought was really funny.
Oh, now I'm sad again. God, yeah, I do have to say one thing I have learned over the years is if it might be I always hate to pin anything on an entire like genre of person, but if somebody is loudly advertising to you, a woman loudly advertising to you that she's just one of the guys when it comes to sense of the humor, and it is just like the absolute scariest comedians you've ever heard, just run in the other direction.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, like this was all a digression. This was all a digression that consisted entirely of like, in a horrible, horrible alternate universe, I could see Sean Baby's Wikipedia page having like podcast and lawsuit on it.
Yeah, no, I am 100% happy that, like, I mean, you listen to the 1-900 Hot Dog podcast. I mean, even just aside from his writings, but listening to the 1-900 Hot Dog podcast and just the joy he gets at watching a terrible movie. like
he is fully left behind irony. It's just like, no, I just like being things that are bad.
Yeah. No, that is a thing, and it's just the level that he drills down on sort of, I know it's a completely different podcast, but the sort of how did this happen? How did a creator come to the discovery that they thought this would be a good idea? Like, it is it's
think,
genius in its own way.
I think despite some of the more recent things that have come out about one of the guests, my favorite 1-900 Hot Dog episode is still the one about Psychic Bigfoot.
Yes.
That one's amazing.
In combat with
Just
all
because-
of them.
I am in combat with all of them.
And
Like
just
that-
the fact that like they start describing different Bigfoots as like Pokemon, like psychic
Yeah, like you
water
capture
types.
them in psychic crystals.
And what was it? I'm sorry, Merlin was an immortal Bigfoot, but he fell off a horse and died.
Yeah, he fell off a horse and died in the 1500s.
Merlin, you know, from King Arthur, was a
like-
He was
man.
real and was immortal, but died from falling off a horse.
Then he wasn't that immortal.
No, he was immortal. He was just not unkillable.
Yeah, he's not invincible.
Oh damn!
But I was a big fan of the wizard that fucking gets brought up that like came from like a splinter dimension and put 2 dimensions back together, killing himself in the process by
Yeah,
erasing
so
himself
he never-
from history or some shit.
And one of the famous prophets, like Nostradamus or something, had perfect view of the future, but it was not the future in our world.
It's the wrong future.
It was
Nostradamus
incredible
knew
lore
everything,
for a-
but got it wrong.
Like it was incredible amounts of lore, incredible lore.
I love how they
I-
keep pointing out the fact that this obviously would have been a great basis for like a combat card game.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like all these Bigfoots have different type advantages against each other. You got aliens for expansion sets. Like there's a lot of options here.
You got aliens for expansion sets.
There's like a weird undercurrent of like random racism against very specific aliens.
Yeah, red aliens. Don't know why I
Red
remember
aliens,
that.
Bad
but
ones.
Very distinctly red aliens.
Okay, I haven't been looking in a while, but why is Dude Bro fighting himself?
He's like,
Because the devil gene within or whatever.
yeah, he's undergoing some level of meditation, facilitated by his mother, who was previously dead, but is probably not dead now.
Is that why he's got pink stripes on the right?
Sure.
The chains that bind him.
Yeah.
Which one are you, Bob? You the?
I'm currently devil, but literally the last fight I was not.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that that one day you will be forced to. You will either be forced to lose or you will switch to good gene.
Yeah, no, I was good Gene, and now I'm devil Gene, and it goes in different directions. I also love that they finished the cinema scene with Devil Jin using his like super move, but literally that was used against me as part of the normal course of the fight in the previous fight, so it's not really all that like dramatic.
It's not that exciting. It's already happened.
It's like if you got hit with a
Not
Hadouken
you.
as a cinema scene.
Shinku Hadoken! I really wish Street Fighter would steal that from Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Like, you can beat an enemy with your super and, like, an announcer just screams the name of your super. Final Atomic Buster! That's the reason why I know all the Street Fighter super moves by name. It's
Oh, understandable,
seeing
yeah.
that over and over. Shungoku Satsu!
Oh fuck!
Somebody's playing a fighting
Yeah.
game.
Somebody just got fucked up.
Hyper Optic Blast!
Yeah, I won a round. So
Hyper,
that's gotta count for something, right?
It does.
Berserker Barrage X!
Yeah, I actually had a dream
Psycho
the other
Crusher.
night that they were making another, like, Street Fighter specifically Street Fighter versus X-Men. And
I mean, it would probably be smart to dial back at this point.
it would make sense, and that way, but it was just a random dream, and just like the game wasn't actually in the dream. It was just a matter of like people were talking about it, and I was excited. It's like a
Oh, I just
background.
got
detail.
perfected.
I would play. Okay.
Kelly?
Oh no, I just said I just got perfected.
Oh,
That was it.
That's not.
I would play a something in the vein of Tatsunoko versus Capcom again.
Yeah, no, I mean Capcom can fight most anybody, and I'll be excited about it. Neon Genesis
I remember-
Evangelion versus Capcom.
No, something better. I remember way back in the day of real old penny arcade with Capcom versus Kellogg's. I'd play it.
I'd be into it.
New Age of Breakfast.
New Age.
Man, you thought people were horny for Capcom designs before. Wait till they see what they do with Tony the Tiger.
Oh God.
Oh lord.
Hyper Tiger. Yeah, dude, Tony the Tiger and Sagat team up. Be awesome.
Right, I'm announcing
Tiger
my
knee.
decision this time. Good night, y'all.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.
Night.
Tiger. Tiger. Tiger.
Yeah. Or just have that be an alternate costume for Sagat.
I assume he had that as his like animal costume in Ultra SF4, but I've never actually checked.
Yeah, at some point I have to go back and look at those costumes. I mean, I was thinking about this again with the fact that both Tekken and Street Fighter 6 now have funny money for their costumes, which I find so super annoying. But I learned back in frickin' Street Fighter 4 days, just wait till the end when they give you all the costumes for $5.
Like you
You
can just get the.
you don't need
if
that
you-
guy
happen
wearing a
for-
suit right now.
Does that happen for 5 as well?
I mean,
Yeah, like 5 with the Champion Edition pack gave you basically everything
Yeah.
that was released before it.
Like, that's definitely where I got all those Mega Man costumes that were originally released as, like, basically gotchas.
Yeah, they killed the gotcha boxes relatively early in Street Fighter V's experiments with
Thank
them.
God.
thankfully.
Well, I mean, it didn't show up until, like, Season 3 in the first place, and then...
Yeah, and then it was gone by Season 4.
I was gonna say that it only lasted, like, 6 months. But they tried!
Are you excited for Mega Man and Exo Primal?
Actually, pretty much no, because, like, the costumes that were in 5 are better than what I'm seeing now.
I appreciate that Exo Primal has somehow reached Season 4 without me having ever met someone who has played it. It's the beauty of producing a live service game that you put basically no money into, so if it fails, it doesn't really matter.
Did you see the freaking Multiverses cross McDonald's? Just freaking
Multiverses,
promotion.
I am so excited for Multiverses to come out again in May and then be shut down again in October.
They're going to include Ronald McDonald instead of LeBron James.
Remember when they
Is
had
that for
to
real?
fucking...
What?
Is that for real? That's
mean,
so stupid, I can believe it.
They are definitely doing a Multiverses McDonald's promotion.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll
I knew
still have
Multiverse
LeBron
would
if
go
they
back.
can keep his. If they, I'm sure they'll still have LeBron if they can keep his. If they can keep the likeness rights.
I can only assume that they need to pay. Can only assume that they need to pay like a phenomenal amount of money to keep him around.
I mean, I would guess that they probably snuck something into the Space Jam contract that, like, as long as they're, like, tying it to that. as a
If it's
property,
derivative from Space Jam,
okay.
that they can use them.
'Cause
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, they probably have like enough like
LeBron James
sound bites
the
of him
character.
talking that they like don't need to even like record anything new.
But yeah, I like that. Nothing has ever been funnier to me than them saying it was only a beta. It wasn't ever meant to be fully released. We tricked you. While they were in like season 3 of that game,
Yeah, no, that people had paid money for that game, right?
people had paid like $100 for that game.
And, like, can you even turn it on now, or what's the situation?
No,
there?
you haven't been able to turn it on for like a year.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was a situation where not only, like, you know, it wasn't just like it lost me. It wasn't a situation where it's like there was a cartridge that would still work, so to speak. Just online services have ceased. Just like, no, the game doesn't exist.
Yeah, they took that shit away. You don't get that anymore.
You can no longer.
That's
play
almost
it
as good
online.
as. That's almost as good as the what was it, the Love Live Gotcha, where they announced, "Hey, we're releasing this in the U.S. in August. However, we're going to close it in October."
Yeah,
at least
like
they were,
them
like, straightforward.
announcing it them announcing that it was going to open and close in the same tweet was an incredible bit of transparency.
Well, it took so long to come out that they ended up having to close it down.
I mean, it had already failed in Japan. They weren't going to keep it alive for America. But for some reason, they still felt the need to actually release it anyway.
They probably made a couple of bucks off of it. I know there are some dedicated Love Live fans.
Yeah, the Love Live fans are the ones that rejected it in Japan.
But American Love Live fans...
I feel like they'll probably follow suit.
Yeah, American Love, like to assume that American Love Live fans somehow have lower standards. Well, they probably do.
I was about to say, think about what you're saying.
I don't think they have appreciably lower standards.
Fair enough. I mean, just a live service model with a known expiration date. Like, I mean, even the people I feel like who are into those games, like, apologize for it. Like, on some level, they know they're throwing money away.
I'm surprised Fire Emblem Heroes is still going.
I mean, that one still brings in money, sadly.
Yeah. Well, not sadly. It can't help finance the last Fire Emblem game.
I mean, the Fire Emblem games mostly finance themselves at this point, thankfully. But
what was the one
Engage
where
didn't do as well, but
some guy spent literally $1,000 and still didn't get the waifu he was hoping for?
There's so many games you could be talking about.
It was explicitly a Fire Emblem one.
There's only one Fire Emblem one.
Heroes, because there's only the one, right?
Yeah, there's only one gotcha Fire Emblem.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say, I assumed it was Fate Go because even by gacha standards, that game is considered particularly cruel with its drop rates. But if it's specifically Fire Emblem, there's only one it could be.
Yeah, I know that I remember reading some guy who worked at a bank, probably damaging their future career by talking about someone who had they shut down his account. They locked it because he had spent $1,000 on Genshin Impact overnight, and he confirmed that no, he was the one making those transactions, and then immediately spent another $200. And he was. The poor person writing this up was I don't play this game, but I feel like if you've spent $1,000 on the game, you should just have the game. You should just all the data for all the characters he's trying to get are on his device. You should
Never mind have the game. Now. You should have won the game.
Yeah. They should just be his. The idea that they're not is kind of upsetting.
The end.
Yeah, it sounds more like gonna be Genshin Impact, but it sounds more like Fate Grand Order.
Oh God. Well, in this case, Genshin Impact was explicitly named. Yeah.
I mean,
the other one
So Fate Grand Order is exactly as evil and predatory.
Incidentally, I know it's a gotcha, but what is the actual gameplay of Fate Grand Order?
I played it once.
Does anybody know?
I think it's a turn-based RPG.
I can never get a full picture on how
every time
when you're
I
not
see
waiting for shit to when you're not waiting for energy meters or whatever. I don't know what you do in mobile games.
I mean, every time I see screenshots, it's just characters gently roasting each other. So my understanding is it's nothing but if you get them now, they can talk to each other deal.
No, sometimes you don't even have to get them. They just talk to each other.
If you get them, they can tell you how much they love you.
That's in the background.
I don't want them to love me. I hate them.
But if you use them, you don't need.
I'm aware I'm not the target audience here, but I can't be that alone in the world.
Yeah, but you're also all of the people like you are also not buying or not spending millions on gacha.
Fair enough.
So yeah, father and son have turned into devil and angel respectively, and are now fighting each other on a comet.
And also, very distinctly...
Angel Jin?
Yeah.
Very distinctly,
Oh,
Angel
boy.
Jin got his powers from his mom, which pisses off his dad because it's like, yo, man, you
How
saw
come
my
you get
ex?
special powers?
Like,
Well,
you're-
earlier,
Yeah,
the one white wing, that was pretty cool.
let me tell you, I finally got the frickin' Final Fantasy VII Rebirth monkey off my back. I don't want it back.
I mean, I'm still thinking about it because I'm still like dozens of hours from completing it.
That's
so.
the thing. I know when I'm in the middle of that game, like, there's no way I'm really thinking about anything else. Like, part of the reason we scheduled Tekken for tonight was because I didn't think I would have beaten the game yet, and I know I can't, like, focus on a new project until that game is done.
Well,
And
you're really lucky that I'm bothering to watch this at all.
Yeah, see, I understand. I'm holding a PlayStation 5 controller. I could be playing Final Fantasy right now. But I do have to
I'm
say...
holding a PlayStation 5 controller. The only thing holding back my resentment for this object is Final Fantasy.
I mean, I will say I very much appreciate it, and I'm not considering this a spoiler because Remake did much the same thing, but Rebirth is extremely gentle about checkpoints and being able to go back and do things. So,
Yeah, you got the chapter select. That'll be fine.
Yeah, you have the full ability to go back and, like, you can say, this side quest seems neat, but I'd rather see how it ends first. And then I can come back and do
I'm
it.
doing all the side quests as they appear.
I've done I did all the side quests when they first appeared, and then at the very end of the game, it's like, this is the final chapter. By the way, a new side quest has opened up, like, literally everywhere. And I'm like, no, not right now.
I'm gonna do them.
I said I could come back for this.
No!
Oh, hey, Devil Gazillia restored his health. That's cheap.
Yep.
I mean, they
Don't
gotta do
worry,
something to make this
Angel.
more, like, crazy.
Don't worry, Angel Jean can do it too.
Yeah, I think I'm gradually getting more health as I punch the devil. That's how
He has
That's how
he has a command grab that restores his health. He has a teleport that restores his health. Like he is normally a boss character you get by like getting like three double perfects in the lead up to finishing arcade mode.
I did not know any of this. I didn't even know you played Tekken 8.
No, I just looked it up while you were doing this because it was
then
more
never
interesting than
mind.
watching.
No!
I have played Tekken 8, but only in the context of just getting my ass beat over and over by Galley Sprout.
But yeah, no, Rebirth, I cannot say enough nice things about it. I'm not a super fan of the ending, but that's extremely subjective. Other than that, I have nothing bad to say about it. Oh, other than
Yeah,
that,
don't you dare say another word.
not a problem. No, I wasn't going to.
I can't believe that they killed Vincent Valentine instead of Eris at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez, I'm so tired.
Nothing of value was lost.
Dude, but I will say, for literally every character in that game, when they finally show up and, like, join you, I realize how much I miss them. Like, even Vincent Valentine just standing around reciting goth poetry is like, thank you. I missed you.
You need that sense of edge.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's very much of his time.
I will say definitely, I feel like this is 100% the relationship between Tifa and Aerith in Remake and Rebirth, but these games are made by designers who just care about these characters and want to see them hang out. Like, I have no doubt that is, like, a driving force is, you know, we like seeing these guys chill. Barrett should get to have a nice day.
No more devil. Devil's over.
Yeah.
I was writing that stupid thread of, like, what if Sephiroth killed some other character at the ends for each one?
Every other character.
And I couldn't imagine him killing I could imagine him killing Red, but only like with the caveat that everybody would be like, "What the fuck?
I'll be
You
back."
killed a dog? That's so fucked up. Why would you do that?" I could not imagine him killing Yuffie because she's like 14.
16, but yeah. Still a child.
Still a child. Like so that one I just was like he like stops himself halfway through the death dive and goes, "Wait, shouldn't she be like in school? What's going on here, guys?"
If you've ever been exposed to Yuffie for any period of time, you realize that no one would be able to keep her in school.
Yeah, that's fair. And for like Barrett, I was just like, nah, getting stabbed wouldn't kill Barrett. He's too strong. He would flex the sword out.
Man, I don't. Am I allowed to just spoil FF7 remake?
You are, but like know that like I do not care.
Remake has been
Barrett
4
absolutely
years.
runs him through.
Yeah, Barrett takes a hit.
He gets revived by cannon ghosts who are like, no, he doesn't die, he still does things.
That's fair.
He cannot
but like,
die here. Revive.
That was a wild scene.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, I was actually thinking about, for obvious rebirth purposes, how many characters in the party Sephiroth actually knows the name of. Like, he's obsessed with Cloud. And, like, you gotta figure he remembers who Tifa is, I guess?
It's obvious by Chapter 9 that he knows who Tifa is, because he seems to have switched her to be one of his targets.
Yes.
But, I'd suspect that by the remake, Sephiroth absolutely knows who they all are, just because he is very concerned with not having the same thing happen that happened at the end of the original FF7.
Yes, no, Rebirth Sephiroth is a different animal. I'm thinking of original Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth.
Yeah, he might remember stabbing Tifa, but I think there's a good chance he doesn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did stab a lot of people that day.
Yeah, he did a lot of stabbing. He's like, you want me to remember a single person I stabbed? That's a bigger order than you thought.
Like he remembers Cloud from getting dumped into the Mako, but otherwise,
I was gonna say he has a reason to remember Cloud.
Yeah.
But yeah,
appreciate
no, like he spent like an entire game like terrorizing everybody, and it's like, wait a minute, I just realized something. Are you hanging out with a cat? Like,
oh yeah, for Kate Sith it was he stabs it and then like is horrified when it keeps moving, and then he and Cloud just keep stabbing it until it stops.
Cause she's good. Don't be mean.
I'm gonna be mean.
well,
What did I pronounce
Sephiroth
it
would
properly?
be. That's Sephiroth's deal.
I'm going to pronounce it Ketchi.
Okay.
You can't stop me.
I also wonder if Sephiroth really pays attention to Nibelheim and is like, didn't I burn this place down? I swear I burned this place down.
He's not that interested in that fact. Things go
Yeah,
back
he's not.
sometimes.
He's not he's not a guy that like puts a lot of stock in past events.
But I don't think he would investigate, but he would be just kind of confused, I feel.
Yeah, he would be like, wait, something's wrong here. I mean, like that wouldn't really slow him down. He would just break down
No, it wouldn't
again.
stop him on any level. He would just be like, wait. This place looks
Just like-
really familiar, but I remember something happening to it.
Yeah, there was a big fire here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I did that.
Like that sounds like me.
I read about my
I
mom, and it
think-
went really poorly. You know, I also, I'm spoiling something that happened in the demo, but one of the things I really like about Rebirth was Barrett's initial reaction to the flashback of, Sephiroth sounds like a great guy! Which, again, is
You're
funny
not giving
because
me a
he
lot of
stabbed
reasons to
him.
hate this dude.
What was it you said, fanboy?
Like his literal line is like, "You're not giving me a lot of reasons to hate this guy."
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just like because he does sound like he's doing all right. Like hey.
Like I'm
Until
into
the end of
this
that
so
flashback, that things go.
Yes. Wait, Tifa's just sitting there like vibrating.
She's like, that's not how I remember it.
Her memory might also be faulty to some degree.
I mean, again, she went through a big day that day.
Yeah, I mean, like
it was
it's
a rough
brought up
time.
within the narrative that there are things about her childhood that she misremembers for mundane and very human reasons.
Yeah.
That's what people told me happened. You don't need magic to have like incorrect memories. It's part of chapter 9's plot.
Yeah.
So there's no guardian forces erasing her memory of it.
No, just normal shit.
Okay.
Just normal shit. Yeah, I do appreciate that there is a mix of the mystical and the mundane in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth plot, because every time that there's something like, this doesn't make sense, this shouldn't be like this, it's like, well, we also have a dog with a flaming tail right over there. Maybe we can acknowledge there are some things that don't make sense in this world.
So the incredible, like, Find My Chicken side quest that ends with, like, one of the chickens being killed to cook for your reward. And I was not prepared for Fade to Black and then playing the game over theme for that chicken.
And did you watch this or did you play through it?
I played through this.
Because you put in so much effort to get save that chicken. And when I say save, I'm using air quotes.
Yeah, you lure it back, and then like it's like, oh, thanks for saving my chickens. I'm gonna make you some fried chicken. Say goodnight, Pippity, and then fucking Fade to Black game over theme.
Say goodnight.
I mean, that's just like the reality of chicken farming.
It is, and
Sadly.
the old lady that you're rescuing the chickens for is so like sweet to them. She's like, "Oh, pippity and poppity and blah, and then it's like, okay.
I'll make you some chicken as thanks for finding these. And just like Red is the only one that seems surprised by this notion.
Which is particularly funny because they do have, I don't know if you said you were doing all the side quests. There is the earlier side quest where Red points out the fact that he's like a super smeller unless there's meat smell involved. If there's meat smell involved, then I'm sorry, I'm a dog, I gotta focus on the meat smell.
Like he was not. He just hadn't thought about the notion of like, you named them all and you intend to eat one of them.
And as much as I enjoy how much they dedicatedly made it clear what Kenseth's deal is, I would like a dedicated statement on what Red sees as his place in the universe, because a lot of times it seems like he pretends to be a dog, and then a lot of times it's like, yo, you need me to get your chickens, lady? And she's like, yes, talking dog, I'm going to please get my chickens.
Like, there are clearly other talking dogs.
I mean, the president has a very close dog.
Yeah, that's a normal ass dog.
Is it?
I don't think it talks.
I mean, it doesn't look normal, though.
Remember Test Zero? That was a weird creature.
Did you play through Corral?
Yes.
Okay, well,
I mean,
Test-Zero?
fucking Gongaga.
I do love that they brought that thing back.
Yeah, and just that it's constantly screaming at you.
Like in the original game.
Listen, that thing was a bug, and you could only find it in one area.
Which is where you fight it now.
Yeah, that's what makes it good.
And if you use scan on it, it distinctly says that it escaped due to a developer oversight. Love it. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was not prepared for it to just scream constantly.
I mean, it's glitching. And also, I am happy to say, if you didn't notice, that what is something Wise 3.0 wound up in Corel prison.
Oh yeah, no, I saw him.
Like, okay, buddy. Also, I will point out the fact that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was the result of one of my monkey's paw wishes, because I was annoyed that the overworld theme wasn't used enough in Remake.
And so now it's everywhere.
Now it's all the time.
Is it just me, or have you been fighting him for like 30 minutes?
I mean, this is the ending
been
of
a
this
very
game, is these two guys fight for fucking ever. It's
Yeah,
because,
I think they could have cut at least 3 rounds of this.
it's
was
because
just
I mean, you
excessive.
fight him as Angel mode, you fight him as, like, whatever's happening.
You could
here.
do one normal. You could do one normal ass fight between them. Now that they're not both like all deviled up or whatever.
Yeah, no, they're trying to make a point
Doing
of
one-
this being like a, grueling fight between father and son. That the only way this ends is they're both pushed to their absolute limits. But yeah, it's the
That
same thing
already
over and over
happened.
again.
Like they aren't well communicating the notion that these two men are growing more exhausted.
I mean, you have to do random QTs, though.
Like I would have probably cut at least 2 rounds out of this, probably 3.
And I think our fighting styles changed somewhere in there.
Yeah, because he's talking about using the Mishima style, which I think was his like Tekken 3 style.
And Kazuya's
Yeah.
like back to his like Tekken 2 self, that because default Kazuya has natural devil abilities in this game.
Yeah.
Hi, Avi.
Hey, V, what's
Oh,
good?
hey. Good day.
Hey,
Welcome.
I'm
You're bearing
going
witness to the end of Tekken 8.
Eventually.
God. So who's dropping who off the cliff here?
We'll find out when Kazuya and Jin finish fighting for the 9 millionth time.
They've been
I
at
love
this
that-
for fucking ever. It's kind of amazing.
I love that canonically the what is their last name again? The Heihachi
Mishima.
last name? Or is it just Mishima. I love that canonically, like every member of the Mishima family has been dead. Like they're like they
Or at least
die
a
like,
period of one game.
Yeah, exactly. They have lifespans like X-Men. This is
I do believe Jin has had one continuous lifespan. I don't
That's
think
because
he
he's the
died.
hero. That's because he's the hero.
Yes. Well,
Even
heroes
in the
are
game
allowed
where
to
he's the
die.
villain.
He's talking about X-Men.
Even in the
Well, that's
game where
special.
he's the hero. Even in the game where he's the villain.
Yes.
even the game where wait who gets turned into the devil? Is that
They all get
Yes.
turned into devils.
All of them have the devil gene within them.
Well, not Heihachi. Very distinctly, he has devil.
Yeah,
like,
Heihachi wishes he had
jealousy.
the devil gene.
Good old Heihachi. I love it when they brought Heihachi into Soul Calibur and they did not update his moveset or range or hitboxes at all, and he was immediately and dramatically the worst character in the history of Soul Calibur.
All the guest characters are really bad in that, actually, which is really strange for some of them.
I remember Link being a lot of fun to play, but I don't know if he was good.
He's kind of bottom tier.
Link
Kind of
Bottom
nothing.
is such a is such a departure for the character.
Oh god. But yeah, like Soul Calibur 2, it's clear that like Link was conceived first as like, oh, we'll have Link as a guest character.
Everyone loves Link.
Because like he's been designed in such a way as to put him as to make him aesthetically fit.
Mhm.
Then Heihachi was just like, well, here's someone we have on file. And Spawn is like, I mean, we already made a deal with Todd McFarlane for the shittiest character in human history.
And Necro was actually pretty good, if memory serves.
Necrid is overpowered,
Yeah. Or Necro.
but also he's Necrid, so no one has ever wanted to play him.
I liked Necrid.
Why?
He had a silly little orb that turned into other weapons.
That's stupid.
I like silly little orb guys.
But he's like 9 feet tall. He is not a little orb guy. He is a big orb guy.
That's the thing. He's a big orb guy. We live in a world that has Talon mains, for Christ's sake, and yet Necrid has no love.
There is no human being that actually likes Necrid.
I
except maybe
unironically
Papa
like
Karma.
Necrid, and I am not ashamed to say it.
You're ashamed to say it, and you should be.
I will admit, I have gotten over Spawn, but I still like Necrid.
I don't even have words for that.
I
I would respect
really
you
liked
more if you
Spawn
still
for a
liked
while.
Spawn. I would respect you more if you still liked Spawn but didn't like Necrid.
Yeah,
Like there was something there at one time.
This is like, yeah, no, I've gotten over, you know, I'm trying to think here. It's like, yeah, you know, I've really gotten over RoboCop, but Showgirls is just an all-timer in my book.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, Lord.
Oh. I'm working in Vegas this week, so...
No, that explains the Showgirls connection.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sitting here in what I can only describe as the Cocaine Cowboy suite in Caesar's Palace. Like,
The Rhinestone Cowboy.
it's ridiculous because it's not like a true suite where there's different rooms. It's just one absurdly huge room. Like there is the bed and the desk and the dressers and stuff. But before that, there's actually a fairly lengthy hallway I have to walk through to get there. And then there's the bathroom and stuff. And then like, okay, there's the entire like hotel area that you're expecting. And there's this fairly sizable sitting area. I'm like, okay, this is big. This is a really nice sitting area. And then beyond the sitting area, there's just open space. Like they just ran out of shit to put in here. And like, yeah, the rest of this room is for activities. And
Whatever.
love it.
You could entertain.
There's a lot of just ambient cocaine residue here.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's funny. Like it's old enough. You know, this is the older part of the Caesar's Tower, I guess. Caesar's Palace, I guess, and you can see like the trails where people have walked in here, like because the carpet's kind of worn.
Cowboy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every surface in here will test positive for cocaine residue.
Yeah,
You
I
ever
think-
fail a drug test, just bring up that you were in this room once, and it's like, oh, well, I guess there's no way of knowing how it got in your system.
It's like, oh yeah. It's like, wasn't that the room where Ike Adiabuchi held all those strippers captive? Like maybe, I don't know.
It was probably near it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Probably
close enough. It's close enough that you probably some real bad energy around here if you believe in that sort of thing. Personally, I don't, but I'm willing to talk as though I do.
Yeah, no, I would make that my concession.
Congratulations, Bob. You won.
I did.
Eventually.
Wow.
Yay! Good job.
Featuring
I
new.
definitely wasn't distracted by my hi-fi rush.
And also, Nega Karen reveals that she has her own devil form.
What if you were horny about the devil form, huh? Huh? Consider that.
Well, thank you, Catholic art.
Honey for the devil. So in tonight's Reddit horror shows delivered unto me, by the algorithm, there is R NYC bitches with taste. The subreddit for professional mean girls who have moved to NYC.
I don't feel like that amounts to a career.
This is not. You should not do this to yourself. You should not do this to others.
Yeah.
This is like there was this one podcast subreddit was like podcast name for heterosexual men, and it was literally nothing but posts about how these guys wanted to have sex with various writers, and you do not have to hand it to them. You do not, under any circumstances, have to hand it to them.
Okay, yeah, this is Xbox Avatar.
Yeah,
Arcade.
I'm seeing
Yeah,
that.
this is
It's
this is
genuinely
Xbox
like
360.
it's genuinely completely aesthetically hideous.
This is your story.
Does my story have to involve like these bobbleheads? Apparently it does.
I mean, this is also just kind of a boring. Like, I feel like considering. Boy, this is really just dumb. But considering how much video game people like video games, I have yet to see a virtual arcade that is like interesting visually in some way.
That has the splendor of even a bad arcade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is like the best we got. Like, you
Like,
would
folks-
expect something like crazy, but no.
Max. Your name is Max.
Could my name be HBO?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. He's now Discover Plus. Discovery Plus. Sorry. Okay, this is hilarious. So the characters Bluey and Bingo from the children's show Bluey made a special appearance at a Tasmanian Greyhound racing event.
What?
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because if there's one thing children's television needs to do, it's to encourage racing. Like specifically, two things actually. First, the exploitation of animals, and second, degenerate gambling.
Yeah.
It's, the kids, they don't have enough vectors to be really lured into gambling at this stage.
Nope.
This is like a good friend of mine has a just has a bit he does where the grandpa from Bluey is canonically like is canonically an ex mercenary who like fought in Biafra and Congo. He's like, you know, we never hear about his time in the Rhodesian Bush War on Bluey, and really we should.
Oh god.
I'm not certain we should. I'm not 100%. I agree with that.
Father, are you making an avatar from James Cameron's Avatar?
Well, now I am! What color hair do they have in Avatar?
Horrendous.
I think it's
Just a different shade of blue, I think.
Yeah.
I say this as someone who's never actually watched Avatar and has only seen like trailers and shit.
I have
the
watched
first one.
Avatar, and I
It was-
remember less than nothing about it.
my opinion was the first one was very not subtly basically a Final Fantasy game. Like,
Yeah.
It's
But not all the ones I love.
like they're just it's like I've already. Oh, look, you can get a little Splatoon mark. Oh, that costs $50,000.
You have 38 million. 34 million, excuse me.
Yeah, but I refuse to pay for anything for this stupid looking thing. So you just get a mole.
I believe that's technically called a beauty mark.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Close. Boy, this really is like Xbox Live. This is just like.
Like this,
Yeah.
this
Do you
list
want
of
a
this list
cowboy hat?
It's
this
genuinely
list of
hideous.
clothing items on offer is not up to standard.
And which is funny because you can customize your characters in Tekken.
Yeah, like I don't know why we didn't just do something like that with using one of the characters as the base or something.
I'm getting real Pokemon Scarlet Violet vibes from this shit.
Less charming.
Yeah, I can see it. That's right. I pre-ordered this game. I could be a Golden Moko Jin.
Well, then why would you be
do
anything
that?
else?
Yeah.
Yeah, we must be original. at some-
Shit. Oh, Liloshi,
Come on.
the bum food guy, is cooking up a deer he hunted.
The Deer Hunter.
Wait,
What if
you have to pay
the Deer
money for
Hunter was a
organization mode.
like what if they made the movie Deer Hunter, but it was about a trans furry?
I don't. I don't know.
I don't know how that would work with the Vietnam War allegory.
Yeah, you see, it's a good question. It's like
That's why it's a good question.
now I'm imagining Christopher Walken in cat ears. It's all coming together.
I'm pretty sure if you gave him $5, he'd gladly take a picture like that.
Oh, whatever. If you got to dance in the cat ears.
Pretty sure that goes without saying.
I could see him doing that for free. That's just what he does.
That's true. Now I just want to watch his monologue from the rundown.
Oh man, that's a movie I haven't seen in years.
It's so good though. His fucking speech about the Tooth Fairy.
I kind of want to watch his speech from Pulp Fiction again.
And now, little man, I give this watch to you.
There we go. This is the best we can do. I love that the guitar does not in any way actually attach. This is my guitar.
Kind of floats there in the back.
Me.
Yep. just like an Xbox 360 avatar.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, if that was the intended aesthetic, they're nailing it, unfortunately.
You know, I bet Chris Walken does a completely lethal Don Trump impression.
Oh God.
Terrifying.
Just a terrifying thought. No, like I said, I mean lethal. Like if you hear it, you will just die.
No, I knew what you meant.
It's up to you. It's up to you if it's worth it.
Okay. I can't determine whether or not it's cute or really dumb that the game is like, oh man, I've been waiting for Tekken 8 to come out forever.
I generally err on the side of, man, fuck you. You don't get to be cute.
I mean, never mind that it's an extremely established franchise. Oh man, I wore the same headphones as my friend.
How many years has it been since Tekken 7?
I mean, it's one of those things that doesn't work correctly in my brain because there were so many different seasons of DLC that, like, I feel like its lifespan was longer than I think of. Is somebody looking this up?
No.
Wait, this guy's named Orochi?
Orochi.
That's a different fighting
Why
game
not?
franchise.
It's a pretty public domain myth.
Wait, there are different places you go in this? What the hell?
It's a quest. What did you expect?
I mean, but it's all just playing Tekken 8!
Yeah, your quest to play Tekken 8.
But I'm already playing Tekken 8!
Guess
Are you?
what? You're already winning.
Hooray!
You have to navigate different menus so you can play Tekken 8.
Yeah, you can't even walk around the sex.
Yeah, this is like, when are we getting to the fireworks factory? Also, I feel like I'm the only blue person here.
I mean, that shouldn't have surprised you.
Yeah, I don't know what you were expecting.
You look like some sort of weird, like, Jiangxi or some shit.
Do you understand the concept of the Tooth Fairy? Such a good scene.
Oh, you can walk around. Oh, Lord. I love that the first thing you did upon being given the gift of being able to walk was to walk directly into another person.
Almost through them.
It's the only way my guitar becomes part of them.
Like,
what I
who
love.
do you, man?
You're uncertain. This
Kuma.
stuff.
Fair.
I do there.
Kuma versus Kuma.
Oh God, yes, Kuma versus Kuma. No, that's what my soul needed tonight. I need
Alright,
that
I'm putting
and
this command. Just press R. I'm pretty
and
sure I
the
told them
king-
earlier I was done with like needing to do tutorials. Like I beat the whole story mode earlier.
You fucking fool.
Which tracksuit does King wear? He's got like the tracksuit and the high tops.
I do not know names for tracksuits.
Yeah, same.
Oh, no, the Tekken 3, the Tekken 3 costume where he's wearing like winged pants and gigantic Jordans and just a giant T-shirt, just one of those oversized '90s T-shirts.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Nope.
Okay, they released a recreation of that clothing and it sold out, quote, immediately.
Good. People got drip.
People got drip. King has drip.
Thinking about the extremely fucking cursed Reddit screenshot that I saw. There was someone commenting on like the Akuma Street Fighter 6 trailer where it's showing like the traditional Akuma pose where he has his back to the camera. But they phrased it, Akuma back shots never fail to be amazing.
That's I don't like that.
Deeply unfortunate.
I don't like that at all.
No, the words Akuma backshots never had to be written.
No, they really
The
never
world
did.
wasn't ready.
The world wasn't ready. Oh my God! No,
Lisa Society did not need to go there.
As the writer Dr. Jones once said, "You do not have to believe in Eden to know we live in a fallen world." And this sentence, Akuma backshots, always amazing, is all the proof you need.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Akuma backshots, always amazing. I'm gonna make my way to Sphere here in Las Vegas, and they're gonna drag my screaming ass down from the very pinnacle of the sphere. Screaming the words Akuma backshot, always amazing.
How
They're
far
gonna
are you
throw
from
you
the
off the
giant eyeball?
They're gonna
I
put
think-
you on top of the gigantic hard rock guitar, a hotel, and just like turn up the lights that shoot up to make it look like the guitar neck, and just incinerate you with them. as like punishment for your crimes.
Pete, something is happening on the TV
pure white
screen and I
ash.
don't know what to do about it.
I'll let me look at this. I don't know what to do about that either. I don't think anybody was meant to know. Holy, well that ain't me.
I'm imagining like progressively more cursed, like more cursed Google searches as this guy is trying to find the right pictures. He's just searching Akuma backshots 90s.
Fuck.
Well, yes, I will
Backshots
turn
of the year.
safe shot off.
It's like, of course I've got to turn safe search off.
Akuma's dangerous.
Yeah, Kuma is dangerous.
He gave in to the Sasui no Hado.
Jesus. This is why I'm glad that Chun-Li does not have a win pose where she turns away from you, because then then this man would
Oh,
search
God.
Chun-Li
Yeah.
backshots 1990s and be instantly annihilated.
Just destroyed.
Okay, so I genuinely have no idea why they bothered with this arcade mode, because
This seems like it was put in entirely because, like, other games were having modes like this, and so they needed something that at least looked like this kind of mode.
but like I do not see the appeal, like why anyone would choose it.
I can't. There's a reason that I have not heard. Like, I still hear people kind of talk about like the World Tour mode in SF6 because it's like a fucking weird, crazy mode that they put a ton of effort into.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
am.
mode that exists because someone in like an executive role was like, other fighting games have this. This needs to have this.
Yeah,
I am
you will
looking
deliver
forward
this
to.
mode.
Oh, go ahead.
will deliver this mode because it is my will.
But yeah, I'm
You're saying,
looking
Doug?
forward to Beef Not Afraid meeting Akuma.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh boy.
I love Beef Not Afraid so much.
It's a character that the world was not made for the world, but bent the world to her will.
Exactly. No, Monster Factory gave us so many gifts, you know, and the how can I put this? Just the understanding that you can make the ugliest creative characters and love them, and truly love them.
And love them for being the ugliest creative characters.
100%. 100%. Like, people have spent too much time trying to make, like, generically attractive creative characters. This is ChatGPT thinking. This is stable diffusion thinking. This is what has given us these.
Everything must be a
soulless-
regression to mean.
Yeah, everything must be a regression to the mean. No, create something. Create an ugliness that only you can hold in your heart. Like, that is what this world needs.
The capacity to shift a character's like center of gravity that increased or decreased the length of the character's torso with a stroke of genius for SF6's character creator.
Oh my god.
I mean, I will say, like,
Why does your walk animation look like this? Holy shit, this looks awful.
I will say that, like, replaying Final Fantasy VII, or, you know what I mean, Rebirth, whatever, reminded me of all the, like, gags of people making jokes about how in the original 7, the Vincent's cape would clip through, like, damn near everything. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, this game, you know, oh, they're doing this silly graphics thing, whatever the fuck. Like, I love doing a creative character now that their body is just not built for anything around them.
Yeah.
Just like they sit on a bench and their ass is touching the ground, like whatever's happening.
I love that you in Street Fighter 6 you can, without having to break anything, create a man with Hank Hill's body type.
Yes, exactly.
That
Just
bring the propane.
Man.
Yeah, just that perfectly cylindrical torso.
And, you know, vanishing ass. Sometimes you suffer from vanishing ass.
Sometimes you do. Man. Hank Hill is just a guy who never flexed his ass once in his life. I feel like I know too much about Hank Hill, just knowing that he has no ass.
I mean, how many seasons was that? There's a reason you know a lot.
There are 13 seasons of that.
Oh wow.
That's true. Like, you just, oh my god. I don't know.
There isn't even a point where it becomes, like, routinely horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just quietly just itself.
Just keeps delivering the goods. Because I think at some point Mike Judge realized that this was his life's work, you know?
He may love Beavis and Butthead more than anything, but King of the Hill was going to be his legacy in many more ways.
Well, it's because Beavis and Butthead is his attempt to, like, is his attempt to exorcise Texas from his spirit, and King of the Hill is his immutable admission that he failed.
The Texas is within him at all times.
Exactly. No, the Texas is inside him, and it's not going anywhere. It's like that.
King of the Hill is also one of those. Okay.
It's like that Akewood joke where the guy who invented Comic Sans is running away from them. He's like, "Why are you running? The disease is inside you."
King of the Hill is one of those things that, like, it's also fascinating by virtue of the fact that, like, around 5 or 6 seasons in, it starts to go insane, and someone in a position of power looked at it and said, "No, this needs to stop." And they do reel it back in.
I do appreciate, my favorite thing about King of the Hill has always been that the first season going into the second season, the characters actually age, and very specifically seen with Bobby's, like, friend. His name I immediately forgot.
Joseph Gribble?
Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph gets the disgusting teen stash and puberty voice.
And then they never do that again.
his puberty voice was in part because they wanted to like be less like they couldn't use Luann as much as they wanted to for similar reasons. Like the same voice prepubescent Joseph has. So it's just like, well, if we want to actually use this character, he needs to be he needs to have a different voice. So it's like, well, what if we just made him a weird a weird puberty monster?
Wait, what's up with the voice thing? I don't.
Oh, it was
it's
just that she was not available that often.
Brittany Murphy?
Yeah, Brittany Murphy. She was like busy a lot, so they couldn't use her. Like they couldn't rely on having her available.
So I'm going to do one little
I
story
forgot
thing.
about that. I
I'm
forgot that it
gonna
was
think.
Brittany Murphy. Rest in peace.
Yeah. That's gonna like it's gonna suck that they lost. They recorded apparently 4 episodes with Johnny Hardwick before he passed, but it's gonna suck. Like similarly, like at the very least they didn't assume that they would have Brittany Murphy, but it's still gonna be weird to not have her.
Have they discussed
Yeah.
whether or not they're replacing the voice or just dropping the character?
They had 4 episodes recorded with him, so they're going to probably at least use those. But-
Wait. With who? Who else died?
With Johnny Hardwick, the voice of Dale.
Oh shit! I did not realize that. I forgot that Johnny Hardwick had died.
Yeah,
That one was sad.
yeah, that was rough.
Well, I mean, not that Brittany Murphy wasn't sad either, but
Oh yeah, 100%. It just felt more ironic because they had just started talking about the revival.
Damn. Oh shit! Yeah, he found dead at home, badly decomposed. Cause of death could not be established.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
grim, yeah.
Yeah, one of those people that was like just reclusive enough that no one was gonna know.
Yeah. Happens every day. And I wish it didn't.
Yeah.
but Happens every day. Oh my god!
He had like a. Okay.
I'm just seeing the picture of The Rock's Oscars suit, and it is equally measures. I think the only way to describe this suit is truly terrifying.
I'm seeing it now, and my god.
hey, sir.
Tekken's Nina Williams.
That is impressive. This like silver with like the red undershirts that he has not buttoned up at all, right? That we're talking about the same thing here.
Yeah, because it's not even like I don't think. Oh, it has one button. It's like he's wearing like a shawled shirt underneath, and the
Doesn't
whole
seem to
thing
be
is a bold choice. I don't know. It is.
Doesn't seem to even have a collar, really.
Yeah, I can't judge this suit. It is like being confronted with the Fae. Like, all I can do is draw a circle around myself in salt and wait for it to pass.
Look away and be polite to it.
Do not accept anything it offers you.
Yeah, I'll accept no
Don't eat their
offers.
food.
Do not eat any
Not eat
food
their
this
food?
suit has given you.
Exactly. Do not dance with this suit. Do not talk. Do not listen to this suit talk to you about the King Killer saga.
Do
All
not
I
give
can
it your
think
name.
now is that Benny Safdie just gave that to The Rock and said, "If you can wear this, you're ready."
Training montage that lasts all year. Him looking over at it, like gently weeping as he tries to get to that level.
I'm now remembering the utterly deranged YouTube video of Johnny Hardwick playing Let It Be on the piano while singing random ass bullshit while wearing the Dale hat.
Oh my god.
It's very strange. It's a very strange image. And of course his voice just sounds like that. So it just sounds like Dale is doing this. And he sort of looks like Dale too.
Now I'm seeing a picture of 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger in a suit, and this is also just utterly terrifying to me.
Suits were not designed for men like that.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat here in the chat. Chat.
Schwarzenegger strikes me as the kind of guy who would have a personal tailor.
Oh yeah,
No, he absolutely does.
But the concept of a suit was not.
Yeah.
The concept of the suit was not alien to him. He understood what a suit looked like on a basic level.
He just put the suit on. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. The Rock, when he wears suits, it's more like he's trying to force his body into something where it does not belong. That's it. It's like putting a hat on a sea lion. Everyone's amazed that you could do it, but we're also forced.
Not sure why you did.
Yeah, exactly. We're supposed to ask why this happened.
Why was this something you were so aesthetically committed to?
I gotta say, young Arnold there looks extremely sharp. Like, shit, he could have played American Psycho in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find a way to make it work.
Oh man, Zac Efron.
What's he look like now? He's changed so many times.
Wasn't he in the? Wasn't he one of the brothers in the Iron Claw?
Believe so?
Yeah.
I love how. Oh, I was just gonna say, I love how the story of the Atkinsons is so unpleasant that they had to cut out the death of an entire brother.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Does not.
I'm calling this the end of the stream for the night, as we have beaten the game at Leo just to see a ridiculous Tekken ending.
Yeah.
Crystals. Those are always important.
What were you asking, maybe?
Oh, I just remember, Kevin Von Erich. He survived literally every member of his family except his mother, I believe.
Yeah.
And he has the most
Kevin is still alive.
He is still alive, and he is actually doing fairly well for a man who lived through that whole scene.
For a man who has lived through dozens of tragic accidents and nightmares.
One of his brothers he found having shot himself.
Yeah, in a field.
He held him in such a way that he held him in such a way that his thumb actually entered the gunshot wound. And the way he describes it is, the last thing that went through my brother's mind was my thumb.
Oh Lord.
That is the kind of gallows humor you do because otherwise you'll follow him.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
You have to choose if you're going to laugh or cry, and he has chosen to laugh.
Okay, I'm closing the stream on that fun anecdote. Everybody have a good night.
See you in another couple months.